Chapter 3982. In the arena, the final battle of the clan martial competition had finally begun. No one had expected that this battle would be between Kang Xinmu and Meng Qiu. Zhang Feng and Ji Yuan, who they thought were likely to be the champions, had now been defeated by Kang Xinmu. There was still Meng Qiu left. Just like Kang Xinmu, he had won all his matches in the finals. Now, both sides were pulling at the heartstrings of all the dragon warriors in the arena. Even a few sacred dragons were paying close attention to this battle. There was no need to mention sacred dragon Shitao. He was extremely optimistic about Kang Xinmu. The better Kang Xinmu performed, the better his foresight was. He absolutely hoped that Kang Xinmu could obtain the final victory and become the champion of the clan martial competition. As for Sacred Dragon Xia Yan and the other two sacred dragons, they did not want to see Kang Xinmu being too outstanding. After all, if Kang Xinmu won the championship, it would be a great encouragement to the Shi clan residents. It was very likely that the balance between the sacred dragon residences in Dragon Prison City would be broken. Previously, Sacred Dragon Xia Yan had already suffered at the hands of Kang Xinmu. Even his son Xia Tianhan had died at the hands of Kang Xinmu. Of course, he did not want to see Kang Xinmu win now. He looked at the arena coldly and focused on analyzing the strength of Kang Xinmu and Meng Qiu. An expert like Sacred Dragon could roughly tell who was stronger between Kang Xinmu and Meng Qiu. Unfortunately, even so, they could not tell who would win in the end. This was because there were simply too many factors that could affect the outcome of a battle between dragon martial artists, so many that it was innumerable. Just like before, in the eyes of Sacred Dragon Xia Yan, Kang Xinmu was not as strong as Zhang Feng or Ji Yuan. In the end, Kang Xinmu made a breakthrough in both battles, allowing him to surpass his opponents in one fell swoop and finally fight against Meng Qiu. No matter what, Kang Xinmu's strength was obvious to all. However, no one could guarantee who would win against Meng Qiu. Even Kang Xinmu himself wasn't sure if he could defeat Meng Qiu. Heavenly Rock Binding Seal. Both of them transformed into mystical dragons. Meng Qiu, who had transformed into a gigantic stone mystical dragon, swung his tail, and countless gigantic rocks fell from the sky, condensing into a few gigantic arms, trying to bind Kang Xinmu within them. This was the method he had used against Ji Yuan, and it had greatly restricted Ji Yuan's movements. Now that he used it again, Kang Xinmu saw through it. Sky-breaking dragon shadow. Without any hesitation, Kang Xinmu directly used his dragon martial skill, which had stepped into the dragon realm. His entire black dragon body was like a dark stream of light in the air, flashing and dodging those gigantic arms. Moreover, he left a small cluster of devouring power in his place, which was directly grabbed by those gigantic arms and crushed. Unfortunately, the devouring power wrapped around those gigantic arms and began to devour their power, allowing Kang Xinmu to continuously increase his resistance against the giant rock talent. Without any hesitation, Kang Xinmu launched an attack against Meng Qiu. There had never been a dragon warrior who could easily dodge Meng Qiu's attack and counterattack at the same time. Now, Kang Xinmu's whole body was shrouded in a dark devouring power, instantly condensing countless golden halberds, enveloping Meng Qiu, who had transformed into a gigantic stone mystical dragon. Each of these golden halberds was like a golden meteor falling from the sky, carrying an extremely strong impact. If it was a battle before the finals, with Kang Xinmu's current strength, he could easily kill his opponent. Unfortunately, his opponent was Meng Qiu. Heavenly Rock Binding Seal. Meng Qiu snorted coldly, the giant rock power in his body moved according to his will, and from mid-air, several gigantic arms stretched out, directly grabbing the golden halberds shot by Kang Xinmu in mid-air, and then crushed them in one fell swoop. The giant rock power then condensed into countless mountain peaks, bombarding towards Kang Xinmu. Dragon Rocky Mountain Break. Meng Qiu, who had transformed into a gigantic stone mystical dragon, was like a dragon god, casually exploding countless gigantic stone dragon mountains, condensing from the void, and smashing towards Kang Xinmu. These gigantic stone dragon mountains condensed in different directions, forming a circle to surround Kang Shinmu, making it impossible for him to dodge with his speed. It was much stronger than the heavenly rock-binding seal just now. However, when Kang Shinmu saw this, purple magical crystals continuously appeared on the surface of the black mystical dragon, accompanied by a flash of golden light, and then swept towards one of the gigantic stone dragon mountains. When he was observing the battle between Meng Qiu and Ji Yuan, he had already thought about how he would deal with Meng Qiu's 2 moves if he were to fight against him. Now, he did not have the slightest bit of hesitation. He directly crashed into one of the giant rock dragon mountains. Taking advantage of the fact that these dragon rock mountains had not completely gathered, he smashed the giant rock dragon mountain into pieces. In the next moment, his entire black mystical dragon approached Meng Qiu, and the shadow dragon tooth transformation erupted once again. The devouring power condensed into countless shadow dragon teeth, sweeping down from the sky, like ghosts passing through, surging towards Meng Qiu, who had transformed into a gigantic stone mystical dragon. Naive. Meng Qiu did not even move from the position of the gigantic stone mystical dragon, he just waved his dragon claws, and suddenly, an endless power of gigantic stone emerged from the ground, forming a stone pillar that rushed out of the ground, rapidly blocking the sky full of shadow dragon teeth, blocking all the shadow dragon teeth, and not being able to harm him at all. In the next moment, these stone pillars that emerged from the ground directly rushed towards the black mystical dragon in mid-air, completely surrounding Kang Shinmu. These stone pillars were like a cage, making it impossible for Kang Shinmu to escape. Gigantic stone sky pillar. Meng Qiu sneered, and a mystical dragon roared. These gigantic stone pillars directly exploded in mid-air, and the terrifying destructive power completely enveloped Kang Shinmu. When this technique was used, many dragon warriors, who were stronger than Meng Qiu, were surprised. They could feel the terrifying destructive power contained in this gigantic stone sky pillar. Even a dragon warrior at the 5th level of the divine martial arts realm would most likely be seriously injured by this technique. If he had used the gigantic stone sky pillar before, perhaps even Ji Yuan and Zhang Feng would have no way to survive. Now that he used this technique to deal with Kang Shinmu, people's expressions changed drastically. If Kang Shinmu could not withstand this technique, he would most likely die. At this moment, even the holy dragon of the Shi clan, Shi Tao's expression changed. He was now very nervous. It was not easy to find Jiang Zizai's son, who was so talented, and also fated to be with his daughter. If he were to die in this clan martial arts competition, it would be a pity. Chapter 3983. The final battle of the clan martial competition. On the fighting stage, Kang Shinmu and Meng Qiu fought to the death. Meng Qiu erupted with a powerful dragon martial skill, Giant Rock Sky Pillar. This was a 4th-grade dragon martial skill that had already been cultivated to the dragon level. Furthermore, by relying on the tyrannical inherent skill in Meng Qiu's body, it exploded out with a terrifying destructive power that far surpassed those of the same realm. This was the first time he used this dragon martial skill on the fighting stage, and his opponent was Kang Shinmu. This already made people admit that other than Meng Qiu, Kang Shinmu was already the strongest dragon warrior that had awakened in the past 3 years. Regardless of whether it was Ji Yuan or Zhang Feng, none of them were a match for Kang Shinmu. Right now, Ji Yuan was sitting in the spectator stands, beside her was Ji Yishuan. This Kang Shinmu, I'm afraid he won't be able to withstand this move. Ji Yuan's expression was somewhat solemn. He had fought with both Meng Qiu and Kang Shinmu before, so he knew very well how strong the two of them were. Even if Kang Shinmu had broken through the dragon-level dragon martial skill 3 times in the end, there was still a gap between him and Meng Qiu. One must know that the giant rock sky pillar that Meng Qiu was using right now was much stronger than the previous dragon rock mountain break. Not necessarily. Ji Yishuan narrowed her eyes. She was not old, but her cultivation talent was extremely astonishing. She was the undisputed champion of the previous clan martial competition. At that time, she did not even use half of her strength to easily suppress the other dragon warriors in the finals and obtain first place in the clan martial competition. Right now, she was younger than Ji Yuan, but in front of her, Ji Yuan could only listen to her orders. Now that Ji Yeshuan had said, not necessarily, Ji Yuan was rather surprised. Could it be that Ji Yeshuan had such a high evaluation of this Kang Shinmu? In the arena, Kang Shinmu faced the giant rock sky pillar that had suddenly condensed and rushed out from the fighting stage below. A terrifying explosion sounded out, and these giant rock sky pillars continuously exploded around the black dragon that he had transformed into, forming waves of destructive and ferocious waves of rocks that poured towards him. Every piece of gravel that exploded from these giant rock pillars contained extremely strong lethality, and even Kang Shinmu couldn't withstand it with his purple magical crystal. The devouring power in his body continued to condense on the surface of the black dragon's body, forming a thick layer of purple magic crystal. Unfortunately, this layer of purple magic crystal was easily shattered by the rubble. So powerful. Kang Shinmu's heart skipped a beat. Without any hesitation, the golden light emitted by the heavenly saint's halberd fused into his purple magic crystal, making it even tougher. In this way, the devouring power in the purple magical crystal could finally devour a little bit of the boulder power contained in the opponent's gravel. This allowed Kang Shinmu's dragon god body to gradually condense an even thicker layer of giant rock barrier. This layer of giant rock barrier was specially used to defend against the power of giant rock. Once it was attacked by giant rock's innate ability, this layer of giant rock barrier would block a large portion of the attack. The power of the giant rock bear that I absorbed in the life and death arena can finally be put to use now. Kang Shinmu thought to himself. He gritted his teeth, and the devouring power in his body erupted. Endless shadow dragon teeth condensed from his body and shot out explosively. These shadow dragon teeth collided with the gravel formed by the explosion of the opponent's giant rock pillars, causing a terrifying vortex of power to erupt. Amidst the loud collision, the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into flew out from the center of the vortex. He took this opportunity to get away from the center of the explosion, but it could be seen that he was in a sorry state. The purple magic crystal on his body was almost destroyed, and there was even dragon blood seeping out. He looked a little miserable. He was injured once again, and now Meng Chou was in a completely unharmed state. This scene surprised many people around, and at the same time, many people breathed a sigh of relief. Shi Yueying, Sacred Dragon Shi Tao, Jiang Yuaning and the others who were concerned about Kang Shinmu were now relieved. Fortunately, Kang Shinmu had not been instantly killed by his opponent. As such, there was still a chance of victory, but it would require him to put his life on the line to have a chance. This was something they did not want to see. Even if he lost this battle, Kang Shinmu would not suffer any losses. In fact, Shi Yueying really did not want to see Kang Shinmu risk his life for this. But she was also very clear about what was on Kang Shinmu's mind. I wonder where his father, Jiang Zizai, is now. Shi Yueying clenched her hands tightly as she looked nervously at the arena. She glanced at the Jiang clan people in the spectator stands, and then at Jiang Rong. The last time she went with Kang Shinmu to the inn where the Jiang clan stayed, she naturally understood the grudge between Jiang Rong and Kang Shinmu. As long as Kang Shinmu became the champion of the clan tournament, he would have enough authority to influence Jiang Rong, the patriarch of the Jiang clan. Otherwise, it would be impossible. This was the reason why Kang Shinmu was fighting with his life on the line. Shi Yueying was very clear about this, so she had no way to stop Kang Shinmu. She could only secretly cheer for him. Kill. On the arena, after Kang Shinmu rushed out of the vortex of energy, he turned around and flew towards Meng Chou. His body shone with a golden light, and a golden halberd rapidly condensed on both sides of his black divine dragon body. The power of a dragon-grade weapon surrounded him. Courting death. Seeing Kang Shinmu's heavily injured appearance, Meng Chou's face was filled with disdain. He did not put Kang Shinmu in his eyes at all. Although he was slightly surprised that Kang Shinmu was able to withstand his giant rock sky pillar, it did not make him take Kang Shinmu seriously. One had to know that he had not used his full strength yet. Numerous giant rock sky pillars once again emerged from the arena below. They flew towards Kang Shinmu, and exploded in midair. The power of the giant rock sky pillars surged into a wave of gravel, heading towards Kang Shinmu. Don't use the same move on me a second time. Kang Shinmu clenched his teeth. Although he was seriously injured, he did not show the slightest bit of cowardice. Taking the opportunity when Meng Qiu used the same move, he swung his dragon tail, and the sky-piercing dragon shadow was displayed. Behind him, there was only a black divine dragon shadow. The explosion of the giant rock sky pillars continued to surge behind him, but it was unable to catch up. Behind him, the giant rock sky pillars continued to explode. And the black mystical dragon that he had transformed into had already pounced on Meng Qiu, who had transformed into a giant rock. With the golden halberd light of the dragon rank halberd of the heavenly saint, he blasted Meng Qiu away and crashed into the outer barrier of the battle arena. The entire arena was filled with gasps of surprise. This was the first time someone was able to get close to Meng Qiu and send him flying. But very quickly, the crowd laughed. Because even though Kang Shinmu was imposing, it did not affect Meng Qiu in the slightest. We almost forgot that the power of the giant rock sky pillar is an innate ability that is extremely strong in defense. That's right, Meng Qiu's strongest point is his defense, not his offense. Previously, he was too strong, and no one needed him to use his defensive ability. But now, even if Kang Shinmu could withstand one of Meng Qiu's attacks, it would be too difficult for him to counterattack. In other words, it would be impossible. The deafening shadow and golden halberd radiance continuously landed on the giant rock sky pillar that Meng Qiu had transformed into, but they were unable to break through the defense of the giant rock sky pillar. How is it? Chapter 3984. Kang Shinmu's pitch-black divine dragon body was like a kite with a broken string, heavily smashing into the barrier at the edge of the arena. Even his bones seemed to have broken. Meng Qiu's strength was too strong. Although he was at the 4th level of the divine martial arts realm like Zhang Feng and Ji Yuan, his strength wasn't on the same level. He could even fight against an ordinary 5th level divine martial arts realm cultivator. Right now, Kang Shinmu was only at the 2nd level of the god martial realm. Even if he could defeat Zhang Feng and Ji Yuan, he had almost reached his limit. If he wanted to defeat Meng Qiu again, it would be impossible unless he made another breakthrough. However, in terms of cultivation level, Jiang Shenwu had consecutively broken through twice during the clan martial competition, and was almost in a perfect state. It was simply too difficult for him to make another breakthrough in terms of cultivation level. As for the dragon martial skill, he had made 3 consecutive breakthroughs when he was fighting against Ji Yuan. He was also in his best state. Now, it was impossible for Kang Shinmu to continue making breakthroughs. His black dragon eyes carried a trace of seriousness. Although he had fought against the violent boulder bear in the life and death arena, which made his defense against the power of boulders far surpass that of ordinary dragon martial artists, he still felt a great deal of pressure when facing Meng Qiu. Since it's like this, I can only look for other methods. Kang Shinmu did not give up on this battle. After all, this was the last battle. As long as he defeated Meng Qiu, he would be the champion of this clan martial competition. He would have enough weight to pull Jiang Rong down from the position of Jiang clan patriarch. Apart from cultivation and dragon martial skill, if Kang Shinmu wanted to make another breakthrough, he could only start with dragon weapon. He now had the dragon grade halberd of Heavenly Saint. Although it had helped him a lot, in fact, he had not used the halberd of Heavenly Saint's greatest power. The reason why dragon weapon was called dragon weapon was because it was a special weapon that could fuse with the dragon warrior. Using the innate power to activate it could display a part of its power, but if it could fuse with the dragon weapon, it could display an even stronger destructive power. However, very few dragon martial artists could fuse with a dragon weapon. After all, this required the most intimate connection between the dragon warrior and the dragon soldier, and both sides knew each other like the back of their hands. Kang Shinmu had just obtained the Sky Saint's halberd not too long ago, and he had used it quite a few times. However, his understanding of the Sky Saint's halberd was still lacking. This made it extremely difficult for him to fuse with the dragon weapon. When he was flung away by Meng Cho sneered. He raised his hand, and the power of giant rock mountain condensed in midair. It once again condensed into several gigantic mountains. He displayed the 4th grade dragon martial technique of the dragon rock mountain break. A terrifying aura pressed down on Kang Shinmu. It was as if the entire sky was collapsing. Just as the black dragon Kang Shinmu had transformed into was about to be devoured by the mountains condensed from the power of the boulders, a heart-palpitating aura suddenly emerged from Kang Shinmu's body. Of course, only Kang Shinmu could sense this aura, and it caused his expression to change slightly. This aura belonged to the consciousness of the black dragon blood essence in his body. Previously, when he swallowed the saliva of the devil dragon and advanced from a mortal dragon to a true dragon, Kang Shinmu had felt this kind of aura and power. It was brought about by the black dragon blood essence in his body, as if it could devour the heavens. Now that this aura appeared again, he discovered that the Sky Saint's halberd in his hand began to tremble, as if it had seen something terrifying. Immediately after, the Sky Saint's halberd turned into a golden light and began to fuse with the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into. This scene made Kang Shinmu a little dumbfounded. What was going on with the Sky Saint's halberd? Was it frightened by the aura of the black dragon blood essence and took the initiative to fuse with him? The surrounding people were even more baffled. Kang Shinmu, this black dragon, actually began to fuse with the dragon-grade dragon weapon in his hand in such a desperate situation. It was simply incredible. Everyone knew that it hadn't been long since Kang Shinmu obtained this dragon-grade dragon weapon, so how could he fuse with it so quickly? It must be known that ordinary dragon warriors would need at least several years of accumulation to fuse with a dragon weapon, and some might not even be able to do it even after dozens or hundreds of years. However, Kang Shinmu had done it in just 1 or 2 months. It must be said that this scene shocked everyone in the surroundings. Even the experts who had inherited the holy dragon blood essence had a serious look in their eyes, including the holy dragon Shitao of the Shi clan residents. Although he was very optimistic about Kang Shinmu's talent, he also didn't expect that the Sky Saint's halberd would fuse with Kang Shinmu so quickly in his hands. Just how talented is this kid? Holy Dragon Shitao had a solemn look on his face. He had never seen such an existence in his life, and he had never even heard of someone who could directly fuse with a dragon weapon in just 1 or 2 months. After fusing with the dragon weapon, Kang Shinmu's combat prowess would definitely rise to another level. However, no one knew why the Sky Saint's halberd would choose to fuse with Kang Shinmu. It was because of the pressure from the black dragon blood essence. The Sky Saint's halberd received a message that if it didn't fuse with Kang Shinmu, it would be devoured by this force, and this devouring force was something that no one could resist. Not to mention a mere dragon-grade dragon weapon, even if it wanted to devour the entire Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty, it would be a piece of cake. After sensing this aura, the Sky Saint's halberd made a decisive choice. Although it was very reluctant, fusing with Kang Shinmu was only temporary. After all, it was better than being devoured directly. The dragon-grade dragon weapon also had its own consciousness, but this consciousness was rather vague and not very clear. It only had the instinct to protect itself. If it felt threatened, then it would do as the other party said. There was nothing too magical about it. When the dragon-rank halberd of the heavenly saint fused with the body of the black dragon that Jiang Shenwu had transformed into, his entire body flickered with a resplendent and dazzling golden light. A terrifying power instantly erupted out, and his entire body seemed as if it was made of gold and iron, explosively breaking through the numerous dragon rocky mountains. Kill! Kang Shinmu did not hesitate. Although he was very curious why the black dragon's consciousness would help him now was not the time to think about this problem. He felt that the strength in his body had almost doubled. The dragon-grade dragon weapon, the Sky Saint's halberd, had completely fused with his body, causing his combat prowess to instantly soar, reaching an unprecedented tyrannical state. This sudden burst of aura made Meng Cho and the surrounding spectators jump in fright. This kid, he actually fused with a dragon-grade dragon weapon, This time Meng Chou is in danger. I didn't expect him to have such talent, or is this a trump card that he has been hiding all this time? I don't know. In any case, the result of this battle will be out soon. Let's just watch and find out. Countless people were waiting with bated breath as they focused their attention on the battlefield. Chapter 3985. Kang Shinmu and the heavenly sacred halberd fused together. The golden light and the pitch-black devouring power fused together, forming a unique and terrifying power. Seeing this, Meng Chou's expression became unprecedentedly serious. A moment ago, he was still confident in his victory and felt that his defense was indestructible. But now, facing the explosive power of Kang Shinmu, he began to doubt whether he could withstand Kang Shinmu's attack. Because right now, Kang Shinmu's aura was too strong, far surpassing the strength that Kang Shinmu had displayed at the beginning. At this moment, his strength was more than double. No matter how confident Meng Chou was, it was only when he was facing the dragon warriors of the clan martial competition. And now, the strength that Kang Shinmu had displayed was far from what the dragon warriors of the clan martial competition could compare to. All those who try to defeat me will submit to my feet. Meng Chou shouted angrily. The giant rock divine dragon that he had transformed into roared, and layer after layer of the giant rock inherent skill wrapped around his body. Earth-shaking rock formation. The power of the giant rock condensed on the surface of the giant rock divine dragon, forming layers of earth-like barriers. It was as if his entire body was wrapped up, forming a giant ball condensed from the power of the giant rock. This giant ball continuously rotated in midair, and then it charged towards the direction that Kang Shinmu was rushing over at an extremely fast speed. Shadow Dragon Fang Transformation. The eyes of the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into flickered with a golden light. In an instant, the devouring power condensed into a shadow dragon fang, almost forming a torrential rain of dragon teeth that poured down from the sky towards Meng Chou. Both sides used their strongest techniques. If it was the previous Kang Shinmu, he would have no way to deal with Meng Chou's move. Because the other party had transformed into a giant rock ball, and its speed was extremely fast, making it impossible to dodge. Not only was its destructive power extremely terrifying, it even wrapped around Meng Chou's body to protect it. But now it was different. Under the pressure of the Black Dragon's will, the Heavenly Saint's halberd was forced to fuse with Kang Shinmu, erupting with its full power. The golden light of the Heavenly Saint halberd wrapped around each of the shadow dragon teeth, and very quickly, the shadow dragon teeth bombarded the huge stone ball. Each shadow dragon tooth blasted out a sizable hole on the stone ball. The innate abilities of both sides converged in midair. All the dragon martial artists who were watching the battle were concentrating their attention. They had now personally witnessed Kang Shinmu's formidable dragon martial skill, which actually broke the defense of Meng Chou, who was known as the strongest martial artist in this clan martial meet. The giant rock sphere was enveloped by the shadow dragon teeth, and it didn't take long for it to be corroded. The devouring power had completely broken through Meng Chou's defense, and Meng Chou's rock dragon form was exposed to the shadow dragon teeth. Kill. Kang Shinmu, who had transformed into a pitch-black mystical dragon, was in the limelight at this moment. He was full of vigor. Without a doubt, this was his strongest moment. Even when facing Meng Chou, he could still defeat him in one move. This was the strength of fusing with a dragon-level dragon weapon. This was also something that was hard for everyone to imagine. They never thought that Kang Shinmu would be able to fuse with a dragon-level dragon weapon so quickly. This kid is probably using this as a trump card. I'm afraid he already has thoughts of becoming the champion of the clan martial meet. That's right. From the way he went to the life and death arena to challenge those demonic beasts a few days ago, we can tell that he has long wanted to fight against Meng Chou, Ji Yuan, and the others. This kid, his talent is terrifying, and his mind is meticulous. He walked step by step to this point, truly powerful. Everyone immediately discussed spiritedly. Because they saw that under Kang Shinmu's fierce attack, Meng Chou was actually unable to withstand it. The huge rock energy on his entire body was continuously being destroyed, and then, wounds began to appear on the rock dragon's body. Even if Meng Qiu used all his strength, he would still be unable to withstand Kang Xinmu's attack. In this kind of situation, even if Kang Xinmu lost in the end, everyone had no choice but to admit his strength. Furthermore, from the looks of it, it was very difficult for Kang Xinmu to lose. Earlier, everyone had their doubts towards Jiang Xinwu's strength, so they mocked and ridiculed him, and they stopped at nothing. But now, when he suppressed Meng Qiu, who was originally the most popular person in the clan martial meet, no one doubted Kang Xinmu's strength anymore. He would be the strongest person in this year's clan martial meet. Under these circumstances, most people no longer had any doubts about Kang Xinmu. Furthermore, when they connected the fact that his father was Jiang Zizai, whose name shook the dragon prison domain 10 years ago, they praised him endlessly, praising the holy dragon Shitao for his unique foresight. As for those who originally looked down on Kang Xinmu, their hearts were now filled with jealousy and lingering fear. For example, Jiang Yuaning. Since the beginning of the clan martial meet, she had been constantly mocking Kang Xinmu and looking down on him. But now, it seemed that her previous mockery of Kang Xinmu was like that of a fool. If Kang Xinmu becomes the champion of the clan martial meet, will he come back to cause trouble for me? Jiang Yuaning couldn't help but think, and then felt a little afraid. However, what she didn't know was that Kang Xinmu didn't even put her in his eyes. If it wasn't for Jiang Rong, Kang Xinmu really wouldn't even bother to compete for the championship of the clan martial meet. Of course, from the looks of it, it was still beneficial for Kang Xinmu to fight for the championship once. After all, this allowed him to constantly make breakthroughs in battle, and his dragon martial skill had also been cultivated to a higher level. He had even reached a level where he could fuse with the dragon-level dragon weapon, the halberd of heavenly saints. After these few days of fighting in the clan martial meet, Kang Xinmu's strength had completely changed. Compared to before, it had increased by several levels. At this time, even if he were to face Meng Qiu, he would be able to easily deal with him. Sky-piercing dragon shadow. Roaring sky dragon claw. Devour. Kang Xinmu consecutively executed 2 of the 5th-grade dragon martial skills. The pitch-black divine dragon's figure quickly swept to Meng Qiu's side. The dragon claw of the violent slaughter dragon danced and directly grabbed onto Meng Qiu. Then, the devouring power corroded into the wound of the boulder divine dragon. Want to defeat me? Dream on. The entire body of the boulder divine dragon erupted, once again using the giant rock sky pillar. Countless giant rock sky pillars shot out from below, attacking Kang Xinmu with a loud bang. Then, they exploded beside the 2 of them, and the giant rock sky pillar's innate skill completely enveloped the 2 of them. Magic crystal. Under the illumination of the golden light, the purple magic crystal appeared on Kang Xinmu's body of the divine dragon. Then, it blocked the explosion of the giant rock sky pillar, and basically didn't suffer any damage. Fusing with the dragon-level dragon weapon, the halberd of heavenly saints, was equivalent to raising Kang Xinmu's cultivation realm by 1 level, giving him an absolute advantage when facing Meng Qiu. On the other hand, Meng Qiu himself was injured more severely by his own attack. As the devouring power continued to corrode his body, Meng Qiu clearly felt that he was becoming weaker and weaker. Not long after, the giant rock shattered, and Meng Qiu's entire body crashed to the ground, spitting out a large mouthful of blood. Chapter 3986. On the stage, Kang Xinmu's black dragon form had completely suppressed the rocky divine dragon. Everyone was shocked by the battle power he had displayed. Meng Qiu was originally considered the strongest in the clan tournament. Who would have thought that he would lose to Kang Xinmu? Everyone stared with their eyes wide open. Although the rocky divine dragon had yet to admit defeat, it looked like he was powerless to fight back. Meng Qiu lost. In the Meng tribal clan spectator stands, everyone's faces were gloomy. They didn't think that Kang Xinmu could defeat Meng Qiu, but now it seemed that the situation had completely reversed. No one thought that Kang Shinmu could actually fuse with the dragon-grade dragon weapon, the halberd of Heavenly Saint. I admit defeat on behalf of Meng Chou. Finally, an elder of the Meng tribal clan stood up and admitted defeat on behalf of Meng Chou. He was very clear of Meng Chou's strength, and also his character. With Meng Chou's strength, it was impossible for him to defeat Kang Shinmu. But Meng Chou was not someone who would admit defeat. If he did not stand up and admit defeat, Meng Chou would probably die on the stage. There was no need for that. After all, it was just a competition. Meng Chou was the most talented dragon warrior in the Meng tribal clan. If he died, the Meng tribal clan would suffer a great loss. As the elder stood up and admitted defeat, the result of this battle was finally settled. The Dragon Prisoner City's organizer announced that this year's clan tournament had come to an end. The final champion was Kang Shinmu. The runner-up was Meng Chou, Ji Yuan third, and Meng Chong fourth. Zhang Feng, who had high hopes at the beginning, had only obtained fifth place. It could be said that he was the one who had the biggest difference from the expectations of the clan tournament. The key reason was that when Zhang Feng fought with Kang Shinmu, he had overdrafted his body. In the end, he still couldn't defeat Kang Shinmu, which led to this result. Kang Shinmu obtained first place. The Jiang tribal clan will receive a huge amount of cultivation resources for the next 3 years. Amazing. He is indeed the son of Jiang Zizai. It seems that the Jiang tribal clan will rise again. That might not be the case. You must know that the Jiang clan's patriarch and Kang Shinmu seem to have some conflict. I'm afraid it won't be easy for him to rise. Many people began to judge the future situation. When Kang Shinmu returned to the Jiang clan spectator stand, Jiang Yuaning immediately welcomed him with a face full of joy. Congratulations, Kang Shinmu, for finally becoming the champion of the clan tournament. Jiang Liuxue also stood up and said with a smile, "It's been a long time since someone from our Jiang clan has become the champion of the clan martial meet. The last time was when Jiang Zizai was there." She originally did not have much enmity towards Kang Shinmu. Now that Kang Shinmu had won such glory for the Jiang clan, she naturally did not have any objections towards Kang Shinmu. Instead, she viewed him as a genius worth befriending. "Thank you." Now that Kang Shinmu had finally become the champion, he was in a good mood. He glanced at Jiang Yuaning. This girl had silently supported him from the beginning and had never changed. Even in Great Jiang's Dragon City, it was her reminder that allowed Kang Shinmu to escape. Otherwise, he would have been killed by Jiang Rong's men. Next, it was time for Kang Shinmu to deal with Jiang Rong. "Kang Shinmu, you have become the champion of the clan martial meet. What are your plans now?" At this time, Sacred Dragon Shi Tao and Shi Yueying walked over and congratulated Kang Shinmu. Shi Yueying looked at Kang Shinmu with concern and asked him about his plans. These days, she had been with Kang Shinmu and had developed a good impression of him. Although it was not to that extent, she hoped to have more interactions with Kang Shinmu in the future. "I want to find my father," Kang Shinmu said with a serious expression. "Jiang Rong seems to know something. I have to ask him about the details." "Well, if he doesn't say, you can tell me. I'll make the decision for you." Sacred Dragon Shi Tao laughed. "After all, Jiang Zizai is a genius of our dragon prison domain. We are also very concerned about his whereabouts." "Thank you, senior." Kang Shinmu nodded. Now that he had become the champion of the clan martial meet, he was the focus of attention of the entire dragon prison domain. Moreover, Sacred Dragon Shi Tao would definitely do his best to help him find Jiang Zizai's whereabouts. Jiang Rong, who was standing nearby, heard Sacred Dragon Shi Tao's words and immediately knew that things were not good. He knew a little about Jiang Zizai's disappearance, but he did not know the specifics. Not long ago, he had tried to kill Kang Shinmu, so he must have held a grudge against him. It would be difficult for him to keep his position as patriarch. But now was not the time for Kang Shinmu to deal with the internal affairs of the Jiang clan. Because he had become the champion, people from other clans came to congratulate him. For example, Ji clan. Ji Yishuan came with Ji Yuan to congratulate Kang Xinmu. I didn't expect you to grow so fast. I look forward to the moment when you rise. Good luck. Although Ji Yishuan was young, she was extremely talented. Now that she looked like a senior, no one would think that she was arrogant. After all, with her current age and cultivation, she was destined to have great achievements in the future. Thank you. Kang Xinmu said solemnly. Ji Yishuan had saved him once before, and he had always remembered it. Speaking of which, he felt a little sorry for her regarding the matter of the Qitian spirit grass. Of course, Ji Yishuan did not take the matter to heart, so he did not bring it up. At this time, the other two sacred dragon experts from the sacred dragon clan also came to congratulate Kang Xinmu. After all, Kang Xinmu had become the champion of the clan tournament. It could be said that he had created too many miracles since the preliminaries. In addition to Jiang Zizai's reputation, he had enough weight in the eyes of the sacred dragon experts. Only the sacred dragon Xia Yan of the Xia clan residents did not come to say anything to Kang Xinmu. After all, Kang Xinmu had killed his son, so he naturally could not come to congratulate him. Seeing that Kang Xinmu had become the champion, Xia Yan could only snort coldly, turn around and leave. To him, although this matter was very unpleasant, it was still just a clan tournament. The 17 clans in the Dragon Prison domain were nothing to the sacred dragon residents of the Dragon Prison city. The clan tournament was just a form of entertainment. The individual reward for the clan martial competition is a great source dragon pellet, refined from gathering 13 types of precious medicinal ingredients. It can raise the cultivation of a dragon martial artist by quite a bit, and if one has enough talent, it can even directly raise one's cultivation by one level. Sacred Dragon Shitao said to Kang Xinmu with a smile, the reward for this person, as well as the reward for your Jiang clan, will be distributed in a while. Great, let's see if you can break through to the third level of the divine martial realm, Shi Yueying said with a smile. If you succeed, your strength will increase by another level, and you will not be comparable to other dragon warriors of the same generation. Even Ji Yishuan will not be as good as you after a period of time. Chapter 3987. Kang Xinmu did not take sacred dragon Shitao's words to heart. Whether or not he could surpass Ji Yishuan was not a problem for him. As long as he was given time, no dragon warrior in the world would be his match. And now, the clan martial competition's individual champion's reward, the great source dragon pellet, was extremely precious to him. This was a treasure that could allow him to continue to raise his cultivation level. Its value was immeasurable, and it was a reward that Dragon King had specially given to encourage the younger generation. Every 3 years, only one of these pellets would appear. The champion of this year's clan martial competition was Kang Xinmu's, so the great source dragon pellet for these 3 years belonged to him. After the clan martial competition ended, everyone dispersed while discussing. The Jiang clan followed Jiang Rong and left the clan martial competition grounds as fast as they could. Before they left, they told Kang Xinmu that if he had anything to say, they could talk about it after returning to Great Jiang Dragon City. Kang Xinmu did not think too much about Jiang Rong's words. Now that the matter had been settled, there was no need to be anxious. After he consumed the great source dragon pellet and saw if it could improve, he would return to deal with Jiang Rong's matter. The most important thing was to find traces of his father, Jiang Zizai. Black Dragon, what kind of existence are you? What happened to my father? Every time Kang Xinmu thought of the scene of his father being devoured by the Black Dragon when he awakened and became a dragon warrior, he would feel a sense of trepidation. The Black Dragon's consciousness and aura told Kang Xinmu that it was definitely an extraordinary existence. It was impossible for it to be just an ordinary divine dragon's blood essence. After the clan martial competition ended, everyone dispersed. Some people were happy, while others were worried. However, the majority of them were worried, including the other sacred dragon level experts. They were all very unhappy with the rise of Kang Xinmu. After all, this meant that sacred dragon Shitao had obtained the help of another expert. Especially sacred dragon Xia Yan, he snorted coldly and left without saying anything. It's a pity that Dragon King did not personally appear this time. Perhaps Lord Dragon King is busy with something. Holy Dragon Shitao said with some regret, then brought Kang Shinmu back to the Shi clan residence. Very quickly, the reward for the clan martial competition was sent over by the imprisoned Dragon King. A great source dragon pill was sent to Kang Shinmu. The fact that you were able to fuse with the Heavenly Saint's halberd is truly unexpected. If you consume this grand source dragon pill, your strength will be unparalleled among your peers. No one will be able to stop you. Holy Dragon Shitao laughed. He was very optimistic about the talent Kang Shinmu had displayed. My current strength is still too weak. I have to work harder. Kang Shinmu shook his head. He was not satisfied with this. The existence of the black dragon caused him to be unable to calm down. The will of the black dragon was truly terrifying. It was like a black hole that could devour everything in the world. It seemed to have the ability to devour the heavens, causing Kang Shinmu's heart to palpitate. You're right. Go and consume the Grand Source Dragon Pill first. Holy Dragon Shitao waved his hand and had Kang Shinmu be sent to the training grounds. Shi Yueying followed him all the way and bid farewell to Kang Shinmu. After all, cultivation was an important matter, and no matter who it was, it could affect Kang Shinmu. Kang Shinmu was still rather grateful towards the Shi clan residents. After all, the Holy Dragon Shitao had helped him a lot. If not for this Heavenly Saint's halberd, he definitely wouldn't have been able to obtain first place in the clan martial competition. Even if Kang Shinmu had saved Shi Yueying and Shi Yutong's lives in the beginning, the Holy Dragon Shitao had long since returned the favor. Begin training. Kang Shinmu held on to the Great Source Dragon Pill and stepped into the training grounds. Along the way, many people from the Shi clan residence pointed at him. Obviously, they were very surprised by Kang Shinmu's performance in the clan martial competition. Some people admired him, while others disdained him. They felt that Kang Shinmu was only able to win because of the help of the Shi clan residents. Kang Shinmu did not care about the gazes of the bystanders at all. He stepped into the training grounds, consumed the Great Source Dragon Pill, and began to concentrate on cultivating. The Great Source Dragon Pill's medicinal properties were extremely rich and dense. As soon as it entered his stomach, it immediately transformed into the purest spiritual energy infused into his limbs and bones. Furthermore, this dense spiritual energy was even improving his muscles, bones, and blood vessels. As expected of the reward given by the Dragon King, there's only one pill every 3 years. As soon as Kang Shinmu consumed the Great Source Dragon Pill, he felt a different kind of power. This was different from the treasures like the Chitian Spirit Grass that he had consumed previously. The Great Source Dragon Pill was refined specifically for dragon martial artists to improve. Not to mention dragon martial artists of the Divine Martial Realm, even dragon martial artists of the Nirvana Tribulation Realm might be able to improve by 1 realm. Needless to say, Kang Shinmu directly absorbed the medicinal properties contained in the Great Source Dragon Pill through his devouring power. Not a single drop would be wasted, and his consumption efficiency was much higher than that of other dragon martial artists. Devour. Kang Shinmu enveloped the Great Source Dragon Pill with his devouring power, directly absorbing the medicinal properties of the pill into his body. This nourished his muscles, bones, and blood vessels, and a feeling of gradual improvement spread throughout his body. His body, which had cultivated the Grade 4 Dragon Martial Technique, had already become as tough as an iron wall. Now that the Grand Source Dragon Pill had boosted his strength, his body had become even tougher. The purple demonic crystal was faintly discernible as it flickered with a star-like brilliance, giving off a crystalline feeling. At the same time, the medicinal properties of the Great Source Dragon Pill seeped into Kang Shinmu's limbs and bones, increasing his devouring power bit by bit. He could feel that his strength had increased, and his devouring power had become more majestic, like a surging river. Not long after, he had reached the bottleneck and stepped into the door of the third grade of the divine martial realm. However, perhaps due to the fact that he had consecutively crossed 2 levels during the clan tournament, he was unable to break through the bottleneck now. Alright, I'll consolidate it first. Kang Shinmu thought to himself. After absorbing all the medicinal properties, he did not attempt to break through the bottleneck of the third grade of the divine martial realm. Instead, he focused on consolidating the previous 2 levels so that his foundation would be more solid. He felt that he could succeed in breaking through to the third grade of the divine martial realm now, but there was no need for it. It would be more beneficial for him in the future if he strengthened his foundation. In this clan tournament, my sky-piercing dragon Shadow, sky-roaring dragon Claw, and Shadow Dragon Fang transformation have all reached the dragon level. It can be said to be a transformation. Next, perhaps I can try to upgrade the demonic crystal body refining dragon martial technique to the heaven realm. If the difference between the earth realm and the dragon realm is huge, then the difference between the dragon realm and the heaven realm is like a chasm. After comprehending the heaven realm dragon martial technique, a dragon martial artist of the same realm would definitely not be able to withstand it. Kang Shinmu's face lit up. His demonic crystal had helped him block countless deadly attacks, allowing him to fully display his devouring power. Chapter 3988. The Great Source Dragon Elixir's medicinal power was completely absorbed by Kang Shinmu. Although he did not make a breakthrough in his cultivation level, he had consolidated his strength from his previous breakthroughs. He had also reached the bottleneck of the third tier of the God Martial Realm. As long as there was an opportunity, he could break through the bottleneck and step into the third tier of the God Martial Realm. 3 days later, he came out of the cultivation room. His entire body was different from before. His eyes were shining brightly. This was a natural change after his cultivation level had increased. Shi Yueying had just arrived at the cultivation room. Her eyes lit up as she saw him. There was a hint of joy in her beautiful eyes. It seems that your cultivation level has been consolidated well. My father also said that if you were to break through directly, your cultivation level would be unstable. It would be detrimental to your future cultivation. Thank you for the trouble. Kang Shinmu smiled and nodded. He was in a good mood because he could finally return to Jiang Rong's Dragon City and ask Jiang Rong about his father's whereabouts. As for raising the body refining dragon martial skill, magic crystal, to the heaven level when he had just started cultivating, he could not be in a hurry. Are you going back to the Jiang clan now? Shi Yueying widened her eyes, which were filled with intelligence. My father said that I should go with you, in case someone tries to sabotage you. Oh. Kang Shinmu was a little surprised, but he immediately nodded. Alright, thank you. With Shi Yueying accompanying him, Jiang Rong would not dare to be presumptuous. After all, Shi Yueying was the daughter of sacred dragon Shi Tao. Her words were a great deterrent to the Jiang clan. At the same time, sacred dragon Shi Tao would not be so at ease. It must be known that the other sacred dragon experts were quite jealous of the Shi clan residents, so it was very likely that they would try to sabotage them. Faced with such a situation, Shi Tao would definitely send people to follow Shi Yueying in secret to ensure her safety. He could also see if anyone had designs on the Shi clan residents. What are you thanking me for? You saved my sister and my life. This is just a small matter. Shi Yueying covered her mouth and chuckled. Let's go. Go say goodbye to my father. I don't know how long it will take. It won't be easy to find your father. Yes. Thinking of this, Kang Shinmu also felt a little heavy. His father, Jiang Zizai, was now missing. It would not be easy to find him. The key was that he did not know what had happened to him. What did it have to do with the black dragon in his body? He had to ask Jiang Rong about this when he returned. Originally, Kang Shinmu thought that no one knew about Jiang Zizai's disappearance, but he inadvertently heard rumors that Jiang Rong seemed to know something about it. This was undoubtedly the only clue he could rely on now. He had to get some information from Jiang Rong. Soon, Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying bade farewell to divine dragon Shi Tao and transformed into divine dragons that soared above the 9 heavens. They glided through the clouds and headed for Great Jiang Dragon City. The Great Jiang Dragon City was very far from the Dragon Prison City. It would take more than a day to return to the Great Jiang Dragon City from the Dragon Prison City. Midway through the flight, the sky gradually darkened. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying landed in a small city. This small city was quite far from Dragon Prison City. It had a large population, but most of them were not dragon martial artists. Only a few of the city guards were awakened dragon martial artists. Their cultivation levels were not high, and their main job was to deal with the occasional demonic beasts. If a demonic beast that was too strong appeared, this small city could only ask for help from Dragon Prison City. Of course, within the boundaries of Dragon Prison City, demonic beasts would rarely cause trouble on a large scale and attack human cities. After all, the demonic beasts knew very well that if they did not cause any trouble, they could live for a while longer. Once they were noticed by Dragon Prison City, they would immediately be dead. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying returned to their human forms and landed outside the city. They took a random carriage and entered the city without alerting anyone. After all, they did not want to attract too much attention. They only wanted to stay for one night and leave. However, even if they did not transform into dragons, their essence, energy, and spirit were very different from ordinary people. They looked much more spirited. If Shi Yueying had not intentionally changed into a low-key light-colored outfit, she would have attracted the attention of many youngsters along the way. Oh right, I haven't thanked you for letting me devour a portion of the 5 extreme mysterious ice energy. Kang Xinmu suddenly thought of something. During the clan martial competition, if not for that portion of the 5 extreme mysterious ice energy, he would have already lost midway. It would have been impossible for him to reach the final stage where he fought with Meng Chou. Is this power very useful to you? If you need it, you can come to my room tonight and absorb a bit more. I can recover by myself anyway. Shi Yueying laughed softly. And then I'll have to trouble you. Kang Xinmu nodded. After the previous battle, a lot of the 5 extreme mysterious ice energy in his body had been consumed. This was a type of power that he could use. Normally, devouring a bit more of it in his body might play a crucial role at a crucial moment. Therefore, towards Shi Yueying's invitation, Kang Xinmu did not stand on ceremony. After all, the two of them could be considered to be rather familiar with each other. The two of them boarded the carriage and quickly entered the small city. Above the city gate, there were 2 words, Kindred Mountain. This was the name of the small city. There were millions of people, but there were less than 1,000 dragon warriors. It was a very ordinary commoner's city in the Dragon Prison City. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying were going to stay in this Kindred Mountain city for a night. However, on the way, the two of them felt that something was not quite right. Do you feel that the aura of the demonic beasts nearby is very dense? Kang Xinmu asked Shi Yueying softly. Shi Yueying shook her head, a little puzzled. I don't feel it. Hearing this, Kang Xinmu frowned. Perhaps it was because he had fought with demonic beasts many times, but now he was more sensitive to the aura of demonic beasts. Moreover, the mysterious black dragon's blood essence in his body was also more sensitive to the aura of demonic beasts. So right now, the others didn't feel anything. Only Kang Xinmu felt that there seemed to be demonic beasts gathering in the vicinity of this Kindred Mountain city. This situation was a little off. Before, Kang Xinmu had only sensed it in places like Dragonbone Valley. Logically speaking, a place like Kindred Mountain City shouldn't have so many demonic beasts gathering. I'm afraid that something will happen tonight. Kang Xinmu thought for a moment, then said to Shi Yueying, let's write a letter to Dragon Prison City and have Senior Shi prepare to send people over. There's definitely a problem here. All right. Shi Yueying's pretty face grew solemn as well. Although she didn't feel anything towards the demonic beast aura Kang Xinmu spoke of, she trusted Kang Xinmu's senses. She knew that Kang Xinmu wouldn't speak without thinking. Since he said there was a problem, then there was definitely a problem with this place. Chapter 3989. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying quickly found an inn in Laoshan City to stay. Then, Shi Yueying wrote a letter and got a pigeon to send it to Dragon Prison City to inform her father, Sacred Dragon Shi Tao. When Kang Xinmu stayed in Laoshan City, he felt that the aura of the monstrous beasts had weakened significantly. However, he knew that it was because they had entered the city. The aura of the monstrous beasts outside the city was probably getting stronger. After all, he had felt it along the way. It is also the responsibility of the Sacred Dragon residents to quell the chaos. The Dragon King will also rank the Sacred Dragon residents based on merit and reward each Sacred Dragon residence. Shi Yueying explained to Kang Xinmu in the room, if a city in the Dragon Prison domain is ruined because of the monstrous beasts, all the Sacred Dragon residences will be punished. Therefore, we have to predict the enemy's moves and inform my father in advance. It is beneficial for our Shi residents. Yes. Kang Xinmu nodded, indicating that he understood. It was just like in the vicinity of the Great Jiang Dragon City, which was the area under the jurisdiction of the Jiang tribe. The villages and small cities were similarly protected by the Great Jiang Dragon City. Once there was a monster beast invasion, the dragon warriors would be dispatched to deal with the monster beasts. Let's absorb the power of 5 extreme mysterious ice first. Shi Yueying chuckled and pulled Kang Xinmu into her room. The two of them had nothing to do now, so they might as well take the opportunity to improve themselves. If anything happened later, it would be useful at a critical moment. Kang Xinmu also wrote a letter to the city lord's residents. As for whether they believed it or not, it had nothing to do with Kang Xinmu. Soon, Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying in the inn began to cultivate together. Kang Xinmu began to devour the power of 5 extreme mysterious ice in the girl's body. He absorbed the mysterious ice talent power into his body, strengthening his resistance to the power of ice. He could also use this power at a critical moment. The city lord's mansion of Emtimang City soon received an alert from Kang Xinmu. The city lord was not careless. After receiving the letter, he sent people out of the city to patrol the mountains outside the city. In the end, the city lord and the others in the city lord's mansion waited until the sky turned completely dark, but the patrollers still hadn't returned. They immediately knew the seriousness of the matter. Immediately, the entire Emtimang City was under martial law, and the city gates were closed. At the same time, the Dragon Seal Array, created by the dragon martial artist to protect the entire city, was ready to be activated at any time. This Dragon Seal formation was created by a powerful dragon warrior of the Nirvana Tribulation realm. At a critical moment, it could be activated by fusing certain crystal materials into it. It could protect the entire city, and when the demon beasts attacked, this method was the most effective. After all, once the demonic beasts attacked, it would definitely not be a small-scale attack. With the dragon warriors in Emtimang City, it was absolutely impossible to clean up the dragon warriors outside. Late at night, following the howl of a night wolf outside Emtimang City, the entire Emtimang City was in a scarlet tremble. The city lord's mansion sent out an announcement, telling everyone not to go out. The only 100 dragon warriors in the city appeared on the city walls, all of them ready to fight. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying didn't stay idle either. They prepared to leave the inn together and head to the city gates to help. The dragon warriors shared a common enemy. Under these circumstances, the two of them going out to fight the demon beasts was an unavoidable duty. Moreover, this was a very good opportunity to gain experience. For Kang Xinmu, he couldn't miss it. Inside the inn, many of the guests were hiding in their rooms. Even the innkeeper and the lady boss didn't appear. It was rare for the demon beasts to attack on a large scale. However, when it did, it would cause heavy losses to ordinary people. If it wasn't handled properly, corpses would be everywhere. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying went out and found the hundreds of dragon warriors on the city walls, wanting to join them. The leader of the dragon warrior guards of Emtimang City was a handsome young man dressed in silver armor. At this moment, he stood on the city walls, looking outside the city walls, only to see the scarlet demon wolves that covered the mountains and plains charging towards them at high speed. These scarlet demon wolves are all ordinary demon beasts, equivalent to the dragon warriors with the blood essence of ordinary dragons. There are 1 or 2 heavenly demon leaders among them. We can deal with them for the time being. The handsome young guard leader ordered, "All of you, go down and kill these scarlet demon wolves." On this side of the city walls, there were a total of 22 dragon warriors. However, after Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying ran over, there were a total of 24 people. It's actually people from the Xia clan mansion. Shi Yueying's expression changed when she saw the guard leader. She lowered her voice and said to Kang Xinmu, "This is Sacred Dragon Xia Yan's subordinate. His armor has the Xia clan mansion's insignia. When we fight later, we have to be careful of his tricks." It wasn't that Shi Yueying was a petty person, but when the guard leader saw Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying, his eyes immediately flashed with surprise and killing intent. Obviously, this guard leader recognized Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying and was very hostile towards them. "Who are you and what are you doing here?" The guard leader in silver armor immediately shouted at Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying, pretending not to know them, as if he wanted Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying to relax their vigilance. Unfortunately, when he saw the two of them, Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying had already noticed it. No matter what he said, the two of them would be extremely careful. "We are dragon warriors who are temporarily staying in the city. We heard that there are demon beasts attacking at night, so we came to help. If you need us, we can fight at any time," Kang Xinmu said indifferently and stepped onto the city wall. He looked outside the city wall and saw that the roads and mountains outside the city were already covered in scarlet red. One after another, scarlet wolves formed a wave and rushed towards Laoshan City. The Dragon Seal formation in the city had not been activated because no powerful demon beasts had appeared yet. Although the number of scarlet wolves below was not small, they were not strong enough. With Kang Xinmu's strength, no matter how many scarlet wolves there were, he could kill them all by himself. "Thank you, both of you." The silver-armored guard leader smiled, but his smile contained killing intent. He said, "The scarlet demon wolves are attacking, and we need manpower right now. Let's go, let's slaughter these beasts together." After he said this, the surrounding dragon warrior guards all cheered in an imposing manner. In the next moment, many of the dragon warriors transformed into dragons. A total of 24 dragons of various colors appeared above Laoshan City. Chapter 3990. Mtimang City was under attack from the scarlet demon wolves in all directions. No one knew where these scarlet demon wolves came from, but there were simply too many of them to count. There were a total of 80 or 90 dragon warriors guarding Mtimang City, but in the face of this situation, the dragon warriors who had been hiding in the city temporarily joined the fight against the demon beasts. Even on Kang Xinmu's side, there were 22 people at the beginning, but after he and Shi Yueying joined, there were 24 people. Then, another 4 dragon warriors rushed over and joined in the hunt for demon beasts. "Xia Yandu, we meet again. This time, let's deal with these demon beasts." A violent dragon warrior, who had transformed into a giant rock divine dragon, rushed to the side of the silver-armored guard leader and greeted him. The leader of the guards, Xia Yandu, was a member of the Xia clan mansion. Although he did not have much of a relationship with sacred dragon Xia Yan, he had always wanted to rely on some merit to go to the Xia clan mansion and enter a higher level. Now that he had met Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying, it was an opportunity for him. Xia Yandu transformed into a flame divine dragon. As he soared, flames danced around him, and the sky was filled with flaming tongues. When the violent rock divine dragon warrior approached to greet him, he smiled and said, "Good, Yulin Feng, I didn't expect you to also be in Mtimang City. Why didn't you come to catch up with me? Now, we can only hunt these scarlet demon wolves first. We'll talk after we're done." "Kill." The giant rock divine dragon called Yulin Feng suddenly roared and took the lead to dive out of the city gate. At the same time, he condensed the giant rock talent power in his body, forming many giant rock divine mountains in the air. Then, he crashed down on the scarlet demon wolves that were about to reach the city wall. Yulin Feng, like Xia Yundu, was a dragon warrior at the 5th level of the god martial realm. Compared to these scarlet demon wolves, his realm was much higher. These giant rock mountains exploded, instantly smashing hundreds of scarlet demon wolves to death. These scarlet demon wolves were equivalent to dragon warriors with ordinary dragon blood. Moreover, each of them was only at the dragon ascension boundary, which was a far cry from the divine martial boundary. In this world, after a dragon martial artist stepped into the divine martial arts realm, his talent would rise steadily. A dragon warrior at the 5th level of the divine martial realm had an innate power that could break mountains and crush rocks. Dealing with these trifling dragon ascension realm beasts was a piece of cake for him. Every move he made could kill hundreds of beasts. After Yulin Feng made his move, the other dragon martial artists did not remain idle. The raging flame divine dragon that Xia Yundo had transformed into used a grade 5 dragon martial technique, explosive flames heavenly rage. In an instant, meteors condensed in the air and smashed towards the ground. Flames exploded and spread, instantly killing over 100 scarlet demon wolves. Unfortunately, there were millions of scarlet demon wolves that covered the mountains, and merely annihilating 100 in an instant wouldn't affect the overall situation at all. Yulin Feng and Xia Yun had just used Divine Boulder Mountain and Explosive Flames Heavenly Fury, so it was impossible for them to keep using this kind of dragon martial technique. Their innate power was limited, so it was very difficult for them to fight for a long time. Some of the more intelligent dragon martial artists didn't use their talents. Instead, they relied on their divine dragon physical bodies, the 300-foot-tall body of the inheritor of the true dragon blood essence. They charged towards the pack of scarlet demon wolves below. With their claws and fangs, they could still kill many scarlet demon wolves. And these scarlet demon wolves posed no threat to the dragon martial artists. After all, although the dragon martial artists guarding the city did not have high cultivation bases, they were not people that these trifling demon beasts could deal with. These dragon martial artists guarding the city were basically mortal dragon blood essence inheritors, and each of them only had a cultivation base of the dragon ascension realm. Otherwise, they would not have stayed in a place like Mtimang City as guards. After all, this place had too few cultivation resources. If they stayed here, it would not be very beneficial to their future development. This was why Xia Yundo had always wanted to leave this place and go to the Xia clan residence in Dragon Prison City. And now that he had encountered Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying, it was his chance. He did not dare to make a move against Shi Yueying, but Kang Xinmu was different. Although he was only an inheritor of the true dragon blood essence at the 5th level of the divine martial realm, with the help of Yulin Feng, his strength had doubled. Adding on to the sneak attack from behind, he would definitely be able to kill Kang Xinmu in one fell swoop. Of course, he had only heard that Kang Xinmu had obtained first place in the clan martial competition, but he did not know how strong Kang Xinmu was. If he had such an idea, he would only be disappointed in the end. The dragon martial artists rushed down the city gate. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying were not idle either. First was Shi Yueying, who had transformed into an ice divine dragon. Her entire body was surrounded by the 5 extreme mysterious ice power, and waves of cold air naturally spread out in all directions. She did not need to use any methods. As long as she flew around the pack of scarlet demon wolves, she would be able to freeze all of them. Then, with a light wave of her dragon claws, she would turn these scarlet demon wolves into pieces of ice. This was the special power of the 5 extreme mysterious ice power. It was not something an ordinary ice attribute talent could compare to. Although she had only inherited the true dragon blood essence and had just broken through to the divine martial realm not long ago, the number of scarlet demon wolves she had killed was a little more than Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng. Furthermore, she did not consume any experience points in the process of hunting. This scene caused many of the surrounding dragon martial artists to be surprised. They did not expect that this seemingly cold girl was actually so cold. She was actually able to freeze these scarlet demon wolves with just her talent and without using any dragon martial skills. Then, she could easily kill them. Facing these ant-like scarlet demon wolves, Kang Shinmu did not have so many scruples. After all, he did not need to worry about exhausting his strength the most. He transformed into a black dragon that was hundreds of feet long. In the next moment, he rushed to the front of everyone and activated the third-grade dragon martial skill, Shadow Dragon Teeth. In the next moment, countless shadow dragon teeth poured down from the sky like raindrops. Every shadow dragon tooth could penetrate the body of a scarlet demon wolf and then explode in their bodies. The explosion created a pitch-black vortex that swallowed some of the nearby scarlet demon wolves, completely crushing and killing them. With the shadow dragon teeth, Kang Shinmu killed thousands of scarlet demon wolves in an instant, leaving a large empty space on the mountain top. The blood of the scarlet demon wolves stained the ground. This scene shocked the other dragon martial artists. They did not expect that this inconspicuous kid would actually have such terrifying strength. Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng, however, did not think much of it. This is a protracted battle. Using this kind of dragon martial skill right from the start is simply courting death. I'm afraid this kid will soon exhaust his strength. The two of them looked at each other and saw the meaning in each other's eyes. Chapter 3991. Although Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying were hunting scarlet wolves separately, they still looked out for each other. Once the other was in danger, they could rush over as fast as they could. Of course, the scarlet wolves attacking Laozhan City were not a threat to them. They were mainly focused on the two dragon warriors, Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng. To them, these two dragon warriors were the greatest threat. They might stab them in the back at any time. While watching the two, Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying tried their best to kill as many scarlet wolves as possible. Although killing these scarlet demon wolves wouldn't bring them any benefits, they could still hone their combat skills. Training in a pack of wolves was still very helpful for honing one's combat skills. I'll deal with this sky demon. Jiang Shenwu quickly fixed his eyes on a heavenly demon scarlet demon wolf that was equivalent to the divine martial realm. This scarlet demon wolf was more than 10 feet tall and 20 to 30 feet long. Its strength was similar to that of a heavenly dragon realm dragon martial artist. Its eyes were red as it commanded the surrounding scarlet wolves to attack Laozhan City. However, it did not move and stood proudly on top of a mountain. Even Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng didn't dare to rashly attack this sky-faced scarlet demon wolf. After all, they were dragon warriors who had inherited the essence blood of a true dragon. Compared to a sky fae, they were a level lower. Most importantly, there were too many ordinary scarlet wolves around. If they did not get rid of these scarlet wolves, Hua Yundu would not dare to rashly fight a sky demon scarlet wolf. Once he was stalled, only death awaited him. Just now, Hua Yundu was still rejoicing that this scarlet wolf did not attack with the wolf pack. Instead, it stayed on the mountain. This made him heave a sigh of relief. Otherwise, as the captain of Laozhan City's guards, he could only brace himself and fight. In the end, he would not be able to defeat it and could only retreat into the city and activate the dragon seal array. In that case, he would not be able to take advantage of the chaos to kill Kang Shinmu. Now that Kang Shinmu had transformed into a black dragon and was charging towards the sky demon, Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng, who had already understood his intentions, were overjoyed. This guy was fighting the scarlet demon wolf, which was equivalent to giving them a chance. They could take this opportunity to kill both Kang Shinmu and the scarlet demon wolf. This scarlet demon wolf should be the leader of this pack of wolves. As long as we kill it, this wave of wolves will definitely retreat. Hua Yundu whispered to Yulin Feng, "Let's find an opportunity to capture the scarlet demon wolf and that kid in one fell swoop." They were old friends and had fought side by side many times. There was no need to say much now. They could understand many things, so Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng focused their attention on Kang Shinmu and the scarlet demon wolf. Of course, their subordinates did not stop to kill the ordinary scarlet demon wolves. Instead, they continued to fight bravely and pretended to support Kang Shinmu. The distance between them and Kang Shinmu and the Scarlet Demon Wolf slowly closed. Soon, Kang Shinmu had transformed into a black dragon and approached the Scarlet Demon Wolf on the mountain top. After all, Kang Shinmu was hundreds of feet long and was the inheritor of the Sky Dragon blood essence. Although his level was similar to the Scarlet Demon Wolf, the visual effect was different. In terms of size, the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into was more than 3 times the size of the Scarlet Demon Wolf. The Scarlet Demon Wolf had long noticed Kang Shinmu's existence. It seemed to have an instinctive fear of Kang Shinmu's arrival. It howled fiercely at Kang Shinmu. In the next moment, several Scarlet Demon Wolves around it surrounded Kang Shinmu. Under the stain of blood, these Scarlet Demon Wolves stepped into the air and launched a fierce attack on Kang Shinmu. Scarlet Demon Wolves constantly pounced on Kang Shinmu. Several Earth Demon Scarlet Demon Wolves pounced on the back of the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into, and then began to tear at Kang Shinmu with their sharp claws. Unfortunately, the purple magic crystal on the surface of Kang Shinmu's dragon body made these Scarlet Demon Wolves unable to do anything to Kang Shinmu. On the contrary, Kang Shinmu's devouring power roared out, and the pitch-black power immediately swallowed these Scarlet Demon Wolves. Before long, their flesh, blood, and life essence were completely devoured and turned into the power in Kang Shinmu's body, replenishing the power that he had just consumed. These Scarlet Demon Wolves were too weak. Basically, they were only equivalent to the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm. Compared with the current Kang Shinmu, the difference was too great. It should be known that when Kang Shinmu was at the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm, he could defeat a dragon martial artist at the 2nd tier of the God martial realm. Now that he had become a dragon martial artist at the 2nd tier of the God martial realm, he could completely defeat an opponent at the 4th tier of the God martial realm. And even the Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf in front of him was only equivalent to the strength of a dragon martial artist at the 4th tier of the God martial realm. For Kang Shinmu, it was not a threat at all. Kill. Without any hesitation, Kang Shinmu swallowed the several Earth Demon Scarlet Demon Wolves with his devouring power, and then flew toward the Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf. Halberd of Heavenly Saint, fall. Kang Shinmu's whole body emitted a golden light, and the halberd of Heavenly Saint directly turned into a golden halberd light, like a sharp arrow falling from the sky, enveloping the Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf. Surrounded by a bloody light, the Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf's eyes showed an aura of facing death calmly. The next moment, it suddenly pounced toward Kang Shinmu. Its speed was extremely fast, and in the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of Kang Shinmu and slashed its sharp claws at his heart. Unfortunately, Kang Shinmu's speed was faster than it. Void-breaking Dragon Shadow. Without any hesitation, Kang Shinmu directly displayed the dragon martial technique, leaving only an afterimage on the spot, and the whole black dragon disappeared from the scene. When he appeared again, he was already behind the heavenly Scarlet Demon Wolf. Then, the Nether Shadow Dragon Fong Transformation's Grade 3 Dragon Martial Technique erupted. Countless Nether Shadow Dragon teeth howled out, instantly enveloping the heavenly Scarlet Demon Wolf within. The penetrating power of the Shadow Dragon teeth was extremely terrifying, and it was not something that the Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf could resist. Therefore, at this time, before Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng could react, the Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf had already been killed by Kang Shinmu, causing everyone present to be stunned. How is this possible, so fast? Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng were momentarily dumbfounded. They did not expect that Kang Shinmu could deal with a Sky Demon Scarlet Demon Wolf so easily. In just a few moves, he had killed it. Chapter 3992. Not only Hua Yundu and Yulin Feng, even Shi Yueying was shocked. Kang Shinmu, who had taken the Great Source Dragon Pellet to consolidate the strength in his body, seemed to have become even stronger than when he was in the finals of the clan martial competition. Facing this Sky Demon, he actually killed it so easily. One had to know that the strength of this sky demon was about the same as Ji Yuan and Zhang Feng. In the end, it was not even a match for Kang Xinmu. As for the other dragon warriors, they were even more surprised. They did not expect this kid to be so powerful. Originally, when they saw that Kang Xinmu was so young, they did not take him seriously. They did not expect that the battle prowess that this kid had displayed was actually the strongest among them. This is going to be difficult. Hua Yundo and Yu Linfeng's faces darkened. It could be said that it was extremely difficult for them to deal with Kang Xinmu now. On one hand, the battle prowess that Kang Xinmu had displayed had far exceeded their expectations. On the other hand, the sky demon's scarlet demon wolf was already dead. The wolf pack wouldn't retreat just like that, right? If the wolf pack retreated and the demon beasts no longer attacked Laozhan City, then Hua Yundo would lose the chance to deal with Kang Xinmu. After all, it was impossible for him to openly attack Kang Xinmu, so he could only take advantage of the chaos. However, if the scarlet demon wolf retreated, then there would be no chance, and his idea of making a contribution would be completely ruined. However, something that made him happy happened. The numerous scarlet demon wolves that were originally controlled by the sky demon's scarlet demon wolf did not retreat because of the death of the sky demon. Instead, their eyes turned red as they crazily attacked Laozhan City, as if they had been provoked by something. This caused many of the dragon warriors to be confused. Even Kang Xinmu was a little surprised. Originally, he thought that once the sky demon died, the group of scarlet demon wolves would retreat. He did not expect that they would actually become even more intense. Something's wrong. Kang Xinmu keenly sensed that something was wrong. Shi Yueying, these scarlet fiend wolves are different from ordinary demonic beasts. Ordinary demonic beasts cherish their own lives and would never send themselves to death for no reason. However, the behavior of this group of scarlet demon wolves seems to be controlled by something. They don't care about life and death at all. I just don't know what their purpose is. Kang Xinmu returned to the side of the ice divine dragon that Shi Yueying had transformed into and said softly in a low voice. That heavenly fae is definitely not the leader of this group of fae beasts. At most, he can only be considered a small leader. There must be some secret behind this fae beast attack. Shi Yueying also nodded solemnly. She agreed with Kang Xinmu's statement. There was definitely a stronger existence controlling the scarlet demon wolves behind the beasts. Otherwise, such a thing would never have happened. Moreover, Kang Xinmu's considerations were correct. He didn't know what the scarlet demon wolves' goal was. It would be much easier if they knew their target, Owu. At this moment, from the mountains not far away, two fierce wolf howls suddenly sounded. Then, two scarlet demon wolves leaped out of the mountains and suddenly pounced on the black dragon that Kang Xinmu had transformed into. Be careful. Shi Yueying was beside Kang Xinmu. She subconsciously turned her body sideways and blocked in front of the black dragon that Kang Xinmu had transformed into. The five elements mysterious ice instantly turned into an ice barrier. Unfortunately, the two scarlet demon wolves that suddenly appeared were heavenly fae beasts. They were extremely strong and were equivalent to the fifth tier of the divine martial realm. They were a level stronger than the sky fae scarlet demon wolf just now. Huh! The black dragon that Kang Xinmu had transformed into erupted instantly. The devouring power formed a devouring vortex that enveloped Shi Yueying's ice divine dragon and protected it. Then, the heavenly sacred halberd instantly fused with his body. The golden heavenly sacred light instantly lit up the entire night sky. Shadow Dragon Fong transformation. Kang Xinmu and the heavenly sacred halberd could now fuse at will. With the threat of the mysterious black dragon's consciousness, the heavenly sacred halberd didn't dare to disobey. Moreover, it felt that Kang Xinmu's talent was indeed good. He could fully exert its full strength after the fusion. The golden holy light erupted and condensed together with the devouring power into golden and black dragon teeth that burst out in all directions. Before anyone could react, the two sky-faced scarlet demon wolves were surrounded by the shadow dragon teeth. Even though they urged the power of blood to resist Kang Shinmu's attack, they couldn't stop the terrifying penetration of the shadow dragon teeth. The shadow dragon teeth instantly broke through the defense of the two sky-faced scarlet demon wolves, and then the devouring power mixed with the golden holy light corroded into the bodies of the scarlet demon wolves and began to devour their flesh and blood essence. However, this didn't make the two scarlet demon wolves retreat. They didn't realize the seriousness of the devouring power's corrosion and still pounced on Kang Shinmu. Finally, they drilled into the devouring vortex and grabbed the ice divine dragon that Shi Yueying had transformed into. Be careful. Jiang Shenwu's deep voice rang out as he pulled Shi Yueying back to his side. The purple magic crystal directly condensed in mid-air and formed a purple defensive barrier. Now, Kang Shinmu's devouring power could completely condense into magic crystals and use them as a defense against the dragon martial skill. The sky-faced scarlet demon wolf was directly blocked by Kang Shinmu's devouring power. The purple magic crystal barrier blocked its path of attack, and at the same time, the devouring power continued to wreak havoc in its body. It didn't take long for a small portion of its flesh and blood essence to be devoured, making it quite weak. The other sky-faced scarlet demon wolf was in a similar situation. It was instantly weakened by the devouring power and didn't have enough strength to fight against Kang Shinmu. However, they didn't retreat at all and continued to attack Kang Shinmu. Unfortunately, they couldn't threaten Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying at all. Another two Sky Fae. Hua Yundu and Yu Linfeng both gulped. They didn't think that there would be such a terrifying demonic beast hidden in the wilderness. If they had rushed forward rashly, they would have already been killed by the scarlet demon wolf. However, the situation now was not right. Although they had killed a large number of scarlet demon wolves, and the corpses outside the city were piled up like mountains and blood flowed like rivers, there were still more and more scarlet demon wolves coming from the surrounding wilderness. Moreover, the strength of these scarlet demon wolves seemed to be a level higher than before. What the hell is going on? How can there be so many scarlet demon wolves in the mountains around Mtimang City? Hua Yundu's expression changed drastically. He couldn't figure out the current situation. Chapter 3993. No matter what, it was an unchangeable fact that so many scarlet demon wolves had appeared near Mtimang City. Xia Yundu looked at Kang Shinmu, who was fighting the scarlet demon wolves, and Shi Yueying, who was being protected by him. He immediately gulped. How is this kid so powerful? Is this the strength of the martial clan gatherings champion? Xia Yundu's expression was somewhat unsightly. He had wanted to take advantage of the chaotic battle to kill Kang Shinmu, but he hadn't expected Kang Shinmu to be so powerful. In this way, there was only one way to kill Kang Shinmu, and that was to hope that these scarlet demon wolves could seriously injure Kang Shinmu. Otherwise, even if Kang Shinmu and the scarlet demon wolves were tangled together, Xia Yundu and Yu Linfeng wouldn't dare to attack Kang Shinmu. After all, Kang Shinmu was much stronger than them. He could kill them with a casual move. Under the effect of Kang Shinmu's devouring power, the two scarlet demon wolves that had suddenly charged out quickly lost most of their fighting strength. Their flesh and blood essence were completely devoured by Kang Shinmu. Following that, countless shadow dragon fangs descended from the sky, riddling the two scarlet demon wolves with holes. Fresh blood gushed out, dyeing the entire mountain red. Stay behind me and don't rush to the front for now. After Kang Shinmu finished speaking to Shi Yueying, his black dragon eyes reflected more and more scarlet demon wolves. These scarlet demon wolves came out of nowhere and surged out from the depths of the forest. Among them, more and more scarlet demon wolves appeared. These scarlet demon wolf heavenly demons were each stronger than the last. Slowly, a heavenly demon scarlet demon wolf equivalent to the 6th level of the divine martial realm appeared. Kang Shinmu successively killed 4 scarlet demon wolves equivalent to the 5th level of the god martial realm and devoured their flesh and blood essence with his devouring power. Under such circumstances, Kang Shinmu had a certain resistance to the scarlet demon wolf's blood power. Very good. Now, even if I have to face this level 6 divine martial arts scarlet demon wolf, I can still try to fight it. Jiang Shenwu thought to himself. He did not retreat in the slightest. Instead, under the astonished gazes of the other dragon warriors, he took the initiative to fly towards the scarlet demon wolf that had just appeared from the forest. This scarlet demon wolf was more than 20 zhang tall and 50 zhang long. It was a true colossus. Although it couldn't compare to Kang Shinmu's black dragon body, it was already much more powerful than the surrounding scarlet demon wolves. Without any hesitation, Kang Shinmu roared and flew forward. His devouring power fused with the heavenly sacred halberd's golden light, causing his body to emitted a golden holy light. In the next moment, countless golden halberds descended from the sky and slammed into the scarlet demon wolf sky demon. The scarlet demon wolf had just emerged from the forest. It originally had a ferocious nature, but seeing that a dragon warrior dared to attack it, it immediately roared angrily and a bloody light blossomed from its body. The scarlet demon wolf demonic beast's body contained the power of fresh blood. At this moment, it suddenly blossomed and actually filled the sky, forming a rain of fresh blood that clashed with Jiang Shenwu's countless golden halberds. The two forces collided in midair, creating a terrifying energy whirlpool. The heavenly sacred halberd's golden light and the bloody light intertwined in midair, emitting a bloody aura. Jiang Shenwu and this scarlet demon wolf heavenly demon, which was equivalent to the 6th level of the divine martial realm, were locked in a fierce battle. This allowed Xia Yundu and Yulin Feng, who were watching from the side, to finally find an opportunity. However, the two of them still didn't move. They looked at each other and saw the plan in each other's eyes. Let's go. Without any hesitation, Xia Yundu flew towards the depths of the forest. It seemed like he wanted to kill more scarlet demon wolves, but in truth, he wanted to lure more scarlet demon wolves over for Kang Shinmu to deal with. If Kang Shinmu fought too many of them, he would definitely die. The next moment, he and Yulin Feng flew past Kang Shinmu's position from two different directions, flying into the depths of the forest. Scarlet demon wolves continued to attack Laoshan City, and the dragon warriors continued to hunt them down. Soon, casualties began to appear. However, Xia Yundu did not care about the casualties of his subordinates. For him, killing Kang Shinmu was his top priority. Nothing else was important. As long as he killed Kang Shinmu, he would definitely be able to obtain some benefits from Xia Yan. It was even possible for him to leave Laoshan City and go to Dragon Prisoner City. Here, there are two scarlet demon wolves. One is at the 5th and the other is at the 6th layer of the divine martial realm. That's enough. Xia Yundu quickly found two scarlet demon wolves resting in the depths of the forest. Then, he directly attacked them, enraging them. Yu Linfeng's side was in a similar situation. Both sides quickly attracted the attention of two scarlet demon wolves each. Pretending that they could not win, they fled towards the vicinity of Laoshan City. Little brother, please help stop these two demon wolves. We are no match for them. Xia Yundu flew back and anxiously shouted at Kang Shinmu, you hold them back for a while. We will quickly return and open Laoshan City's defensive array. Yu Linfeng said the same thing. In an instant, 5 scarlet demon wolves surrounded Kang Shinmu. Humph, Kang Shinmu coldly snorted. He naturally saw through Xia Yundu's intentions. He knew that this person wanted to use this opportunity to get rid of him. But how could Kang Shinmu let him do as he wished? Let's go. The black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into turned and flew towards Laoshan City. He did not hesitate at all. He used the void-tearing dragon shadow that he had cultivated to the dragon realm. The black dragon was like a black shadow that swept through the air. It quickly brought along the beautiful ice divine dragon that Shi Yueying had transformed into and left the battlefield. When the scarlet demon wolves that had been fighting with Kang Shinmu saw this, they wanted to chase and kill him. Unfortunately, they could not catch up to Kang Shinmu's speed. As a result, Xia Yundu and Yu Linfeng were left behind. They became the 5 scarlet demon wolves' first targets. Damn it. Xia Yundo's expression darkened. He had almost immediately guessed that Kang Xinmu had seen through his intentions. This was probably a reminder from Shi Yueying, who was beside Kang Xinmu. Otherwise, Kang Xinmu would not have been able to recognize him. This made him bear a grudge against Shi Yueying. Unfortunately, he didn't have the time to say anything because the scarlet demon wolves were chasing after him. If he was any slower, he would be torn to shreds and thrown into the scarlet demon wolf pack to become meat. Chapter 3994. Kang Xinmu brought Shi Yueying directly back to Empty Mang City. He could tell that there were too many scarlet wolves outside Empty Mang City. If they stayed any longer, they would likely encounter danger. The most important thing now was to find out where these scarlet wolves had come from. However, this was not something a dragon warrior at Kang Xinmu's level could do. Fortunately, they had informed Dragon Prisoner City in advance. Sacred Dragon Shitao must have sent people on the way and would arrive soon. Seeing Kang Xinmu leave the battlefield with Shi Yueying and return to the walls of Empty Mang City, the other dragon warriors also flew back into the city under Xia Yunda's lead. This time, no dragon warriors died outside the city. After all, the scarlet wolves that had appeared were only at the Dragon Ascension realm. There were very few Sky Fae. After flying back, the situation at the other city gates was similar. The dragon seal formation in the city began to activate, ready to open. It was clear that the scarlet wolves outside were not something a mere Empty Mang City could deal with. Unfortunately, there were people sending letters from the city, trying to inform Dragon Prisoner City. These carrier pigeons were bitten to death by the scarlet wolves halfway. It was impossible to send the news to Dragon Prisoner City. Although the dragon seal formation was activated for defense, the behavior of these scarlet wolves made the expressions of many dragon warriors in Empty Mang City darken. They had not expected these scarlet wolves to be organized and have extraordinary intelligence. They knew how to intercept any creature that flew out of Qinshan City, preventing them from spreading the news that Qinshan City was in danger. When this happened, the faces of Xia Yundu, Yulin Feng, and the other dragon warriors darkened. What's going on with these scarlet wolves? Many dragon warriors stared blankly, not knowing what to do. Xia Yundu and Yulin Feng were in a bad mood, mainly because they had tried to frame Kang Xinmu but had failed. Instead, they had almost lost their lives. Under the current circumstances, it would not be so easy for them to make a move against Kang Xinmu. With the activation of the Dragon Seal Array in the city, a translucent divine dragon power barrier emerged above the entire Empty Mang City, enveloping the entire city. Under the dark night, the countless scarlet wolves around Empty Mang City almost dyed the entire mountain and wilderness red. Looking out from the top of the city wall, the scarlet demon wolves that had just been killed and the scarlet demon wolves that were still emerging from the dense forest were joined together. It was impossible to tell which ones were alive and which ones were dead. At the foot of the city wall, countless scarlet demon wolves rushed to attack the city wall. Unfortunately, after the Dragon Seal Array was activated, these scarlet demon wolves couldn't destroy the entire defensive barrier at all. They could only be stopped outside the barrier. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying returned to their human forms and stood on the city wall, frowning. I wonder why these scarlet demon wolves are here and where they came from. Shi Yueying racked her brains but couldn't think of anything. I can only wait for the people from Dragon Prison City to arrive. Kang Xinmu shook his head. Right now, he felt that the black dragon aura in his body was showing signs of awakening, as if something had attracted the black dragon's interest. This made him feel a little strange. It seemed that these scarlet demon wolves did not gather here by coincidence. He just didn't know where these scarlet demon wolves came from. If there had been so many scarlet demon wolves outside Empty Mang City, they would have been discovered a long time ago. The key was that there was no warning at all. In one day, so many scarlet demon wolves had gathered. There must be some secrets in the deep mountains and forests outside the city. At this moment, Xia Yundo and Yu Linfeng walked over with their men. You actually escaped just now. You are a disgrace to the dragon martial artists. Xia Yun directly mocked them, not giving them any face at all. You speak as if you didn't escape. Kang Xinmu retorted, causing Xia Yundo to be speechless. However, Yu Linfeng still said gravely, if you had held on a little longer, we might have been able to kill more scarlet demon wolves and carve out a path. It's too late now. We can't even send a message out. If the people from Dragon Prison City don't know what's going on here, we won't have any reinforcements and will only die. That's right. Xia Yundo immediately nodded and said gravely, we only discovered that these scarlet demon wolves would hunt carrier pigeons after we returned. Otherwise, we definitely wouldn't have run back. As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding dragon martialists cast their gazes at Jiang Shenwu and Shi Yueying. All of them harbored malicious intentions. Without a doubt, they were now trapped in Laoshan City, and the news could not be sent out. This caused them to feel despair. Furthermore, Xia Yundo and Yu Linfeng's words were very reasonable, causing them to subconsciously feel that this was the truth. If not for Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying leading the way, they might have escaped in another direction. That way, they might have been able to escape, instead of staying in the city and waiting for death. Although they had the protection of the Dragon Seal Formation, they didn't have much hope that the formation could last for long. If they couldn't send a message out, the people from Dragon Prison City would probably have to wait until the next day to discover what was going on. By then, Empty Mang's city would have long been breached by the Scarlet Demon Wolves. That's right, it's all your fault. You ran so fast, but now we're all trapped here. For a moment, many dragon martial artists vented their anger on Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying. This caused the two of them to frown slightly. Kang Xinmu swept his gaze across the crowd and said calmly, Dragon Prison City has already informed Lord Sacred Dragon Shi Tao. There's no need to panic. Just because you said so. You're really lying through your teeth. That's right. Can't you see that not even a fly can fly out of Empty Mang City? However, they didn't believe what Kang Xinmu said at all. They all looked at him with resentful gazes. As time passed and reinforcements didn't arrive, this resentment might very well turn into a deeper level of resentment. Shi Yueying also had no way to deal with the situation of these dragon martial artists. She snorted lightly. My father has already sent people on their way. If you don't believe me, there's nothing we can do. In short, all we can do now is wait. Other than waiting, they had no other choice. However, Kang Xinmu didn't intend to keep waiting on the city walls. He pulled Shi Yueying's small hand. Let's go into the city to take a look. There must be something in this city that attracts the Scarlet Demon Wolves. We can look for it first. Okay. Shi Yueying immediately followed. Chapter 3995. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying headed into Laoshan City and began to search the city. They wanted to find the reason why the Scarlet Demon Wolves had attacked Kindling Mountain City. As for the source of the Scarlet Demon Wolves, that wasn't something they could capture, because outside of Kindling Mountain City, there were already Scarlet Demon Wolves as far as the eye could see, and many of them were at the Sky Yao level. Even with Kang Xinmu's current strength, he could only flee in front of these Scarlet Wolves. Even in a one-on-one fight, Kang Xinmu might not necessarily be a match for some Sky Fae, not to mention that there were simply too many of them. It was not an exaggeration to say that there was an ocean of them. If not for the existence of the Dragon Seal Formation, all the living creatures in Laoshan City would have been slaughtered in a short time. Kang Xinmu led Shi Yueying around Laoshan City. Of course, in Shi Yueying's view, they did not have a goal. It was very unlikely that they would find the source of the Scarlet Wolves' attack. However, Kang Xinmu only took action because he had a certain degree of confidence. The Black Dragon's consciousness in his body seemed to show signs of awakening from the moment he entered the city. Furthermore, it had reached an even stronger level when the Scarlet Wolves attacked. At this time, Kang Shinmu followed the Black Dragon's subtle guidance and headed in a certain direction in the city. Before long, he arrived at a rather remote corner of Laoshan City. It was a somewhat dilapidated courtyard, as if no one had lived here for a long time. The ground was covered in dust, and tiles and rubble could be seen everywhere. A dilapidated courtyard like this would normally not attract anyone's attention. But now, Kang Shinmu had brought Shi Yueying to this dilapidated courtyard. He stared at it for a moment, his eyes filled with suspicion. The Black Dragon's consciousness has guided me here. Could there be something here? Kang Shinmu thought to himself as he carefully stepped into the dilapidated courtyard. He asked Shi Yueying to wait outside the courtyard in case she encountered any danger in the courtyard. He was afraid that Shi Yueying wouldn't be able to withstand it. Kang Shinmu wasn't too worried about his own safety. In any case, he had the Black Dragon's consciousness in his body that could devour the heavens. At a critical moment, the Black Dragon definitely wouldn't let Kang Shinmu die just like that. After stepping into the dilapidated courtyard, Kang Shinmu looked around but did not find anything suspicious. There were no living beings in the entire courtyard, and the nearby residences outside the courtyard had their doors tightly shut. Because the scarlet demonic wolves were attacking with great momentum, and even the dragon seal array had been activated, these ordinary civilians who could not awaken to become dragon warriors were very flustered. What exactly is the problem? Kang Shinmu frowned. He was certain that there was something wrong with this courtyard. Otherwise, the Black Dragon's consciousness would not have brought him all the way here. Just as he was thinking about this, his feet suddenly seemed to sink into a quagmire, causing him to stagger and lose his balance. He immediately looked down at his feet, only to see that the originally hard ground beneath his feet had now become a pool of blood. As he stood on this pool of blood, he was continuously sinking into it. Huh? Kang Shinmu's expression changed slightly. He immediately urged the talent power in his body to transform into the form of the Black Dragon. Unfortunately, he found that after being stained by this pool of blood, he could not use the talent power in his body. He could not even transform into the divine dragon form of a dragon warrior. His entire body seemed to be restricted and sealed, and he fell into an extremely bad state. What's going on? Kang Shinmu did not expect to fall into this pool of blood without any time to react. He immediately felt his heart palpitate. Fortunately, as he came into contact with this pool of blood, the Black Dragon's consciousness in his body seemed to become more and more awake. This Black Dragon's consciousness seemed to have discovered something of interest and began to actively awaken from its slumber. A terrifying aura that seemed to come from ancient times was constantly emitted from Kang Shinmu's body. Everything around him seemed to be engulfed by him. Kang Shinmu. Shi Yueying, who was outside the dilapidated courtyard, only saw that Kang Shinmu had suddenly disappeared. It was as if he had vanished into thin air from this world and disappeared from her sight. She was shocked and hurriedly followed into the dilapidated courtyard. However, before she could take 2 steps, a pool of blood also appeared under her feet. The appearance of this pool of blood meant that they had been dragged into an illusion and could no longer see each other. No matter what they encountered in the illusion, only they could resolve it themselves. Naturally, Kang Shinmu did not know that Shi Yueying had also followed him into this dilapidated courtyard. As the pool of blood appeared under his feet, everything around him began to be stained with a layer of blood red. It was as if blood had melted and dripped down. The sky, the weeds, the walls, the withered trees, everything turned blood red and turned into droplets of blood. Kang Shinmu's entire body was submerged within it. This kind of power made Kang Shinmu feel like he was suffocating. However, at this moment, an enormous aura suddenly rose from within his body. The Black Dragon's consciousness had finally reached the critical point of awakening. A heaven-rending, earth-shattering power erupted from within Kang Shinmu's body. In just an instant, all the droplets of blood around Kang Shinmu's body were all washed away, turning into green smoke and dissipating. Then, a blood-red object appeared not far from Kang Shinmu. It seemed to carry endless resentment as it confronted the Black Dragon's consciousness. Kang Shinmu did not know what this blood-red object was, but when it faced the black dragon's consciousness, it seemed to retain its ferocity and did not show the slightest bit of cowardice. Source of demon blood. At this moment, these 4 words suddenly appeared in Kang Shinmu's mind. These 4 words represented the name of the blood-red object in front of him, as well as its nature. It was a type of source of demon blood. This source of demon blood was a living creature that was naturally formed from energy. It was useless to dragon warriors, and could even be harmful. However, to demonic beasts, as long as they devoured a source of demon blood, they would be able to experience a great change and increase in strength. Even for extremely powerful demonic beasts, this kind of change and increase would still exist. Therefore, the attack of the Scarlet Demon Wolves this time was most likely caused by the leader of the Scarlet Demon Wolf Pack. They wanted to obtain the source of demon blood, but unfortunately, the Scarlet Demon Wolf Pack was blocked outside the Dragon Seal formation of Empty City. Moreover, the source of demon blood had already revealed itself in front of Kang Shinmu. Although Kang Shinmu was a dragon warrior and absorbing the power of the source of demon blood was useless, he had comprehended the innate ability of devouring. Chapter 3996. Outside of Empty City, no one knew what the pack of Scarlet Demon Wolves were after. Only Kang Shinmu, now in the city, relied on the black dragon consciousness in his body to find the source of demon blood. And when the source of demon blood wanted to devour him, the devouring power in his body instantly erupted, enveloping the source of demon blood. The source of demon blood contained the bloodline of some ancient demon beast, which could greatly enhance the demon beast that had devoured the source of demon blood. And now, Kang Shinmu's devouring power was constantly condensing and surging out, accompanied by the awakening black dragon consciousness, completely devouring the source of demon blood in front of him. If it was just Kang Shinmu himself, the devouring power he could use was simply not enough to resist the source of demon blood in front of him. But the black dragon consciousness in his body gradually awakened, bestowing him with a terrifying devouring power, strengthening his devouring power by 1,000 times. In an instant, the source of demon blood was engulfed. The source of demon blood that was devoured by the devouring power quickly began to struggle in Kang Shinmu's body, but the source of demon blood could not escape from Kang Shinmu's body. And under the corrosion of the devouring power, the source of demon blood was constantly transformed into pure spiritual chi of heaven and earth, which Kang Shinmu's body continuously absorbed, becoming a boost to his cultivation level. Jiang Shenwu didn't expect that he would accidentally stumble upon the source of the Scarlet Demon Wolf's blood. He had originally come here to find the source of the Scarlet Demon Wolf's blood, and the Black Dragon's consciousness had even used its devouring power to convert it into his own cultivation. He could feel that the blood in his body was boiling, and his whole body was steaming hot. He had never felt this kind of explosive increase in cultivation before. If he had not consolidated his previous cultivation level while cultivating, he would not have been able to withstand such a sudden increase in cultivation level. The power from the source of demon blood was enough to completely burst his meridians. The third tier of the divine martial realm, breakthrough. Kang Shinmu was originally only one step away from the third tier of the divine martial realm. Now that he had obtained the power of the source of demon blood, he suddenly broke through the shackles of the bottleneck. His aura suddenly changed, and the devouring power in his body was strengthened once again. When a dragon warrior of the god martial arts realm increases his cultivation level, the talent within his body will undergo a heaven-shaking change. This was what was happening in Kang Shinmu's body. If it was said that when he was at the second level of the god martial realm, he still needed to use his full strength to deal with Meng Cho, and even fuse with the dragon-grade halberd of the heavenly saint, but now that he had stepped into the third level of the god martial realm, just by using the dragon martial skill that he cultivated, he would be able to completely crush his opponent. Furthermore, the source of demon blood in his body had not been fully absorbed yet. The blood in his body boiled as if it was burning in lava, causing his cultivation to skyrocket. Moreover, due to the devouring power, this skyrocketing power did not cause any harm to his body. The power of this demon blood source is simply way too berserk. As Kang Shinmu thought to himself, he gritted his teeth and began to cooperate with the black dragon's will, absorbing the energy of the demon blood essence. The demon blood source was born between the heavens and the earth, and was a special kind of living being. It also had its own consciousness. At this moment it was being eroded by the devouring power, and it let out angry howls within Kang Shinmu's body. Unfortunately, it was to no avail. In front of the devouring power controlled by the black dragon's will, not to mention this insignificant demon blood source, even some other more powerful living beings would find it hard to break free. As Kang Shinmu absorbed the energy of the demon blood source to increase his cultivation level, he pondered. This black dragon's will was so terrifying, it was most likely an extraordinary existence in this world. In the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty, the strongest person was only the Yen Dragon Emperor, who was a super strong dragon warrior on the same level as the Dragon Emperor. However, it was rumored that above the Dragon Emperor, there were even more powerful dragon warriors. Those existences were not something that the current Kang Shinmu could imagine and measure. Right now, the black dragon's will in his body seemed to be only a strand of remnant will, but it was already so terrifying. If it was the complete black dragon of devouring, it would probably be many levels stronger than the Yen Dragon Emperor. It was hard to imagine. Break. Kang Shinmu didn't stop at all. After continuing to devour the pure energy of the demon blood source for a period of time, the blood in his body was filled with the spiritual energy of the heavens and the earth, and he finally broke through to the next realm. The fourth level of the divine martial realm. This realm was already an extremely powerful existence in the previous clan tournament, but now, Kang Shinmu relied on the pure energy of the demon blood source to easily step into this realm. Moreover, at this moment, the demon blood source in Kang Shinmu's body still contained a strand of pure energy. Its aura was constantly burning in his meridians, and it didn't dissipate for a long time. If all this energy was absorbed by Kang Shinmu, he would probably be able to soar all the way to the 6th or 7th level of the divine martial realm. However, right now, Kang Shinmu might not be able to withstand this energy, which caused this pure energy to be temporarily sealed by the black dragon's will. The black dragon's will itself didn't seem to need any energy. Now, it only needed to make Kang Shinmu stronger. After all, it was currently possessing Kang Shinmu's body. As long as Kang Shinmu became stronger, it would be able to guarantee its own safety. The remaining energy of the demon blood source was stored under Kang Shinmu's dantian by the devouring power. In the future, if there was a need, he could take it out and devour it to break through to the next realm. Kang Shinmu gave it a try. He seemed to be able to control the energy of the demon blood source. At this time, the black dragon's will also gradually dissipated, as if it continued to sleep. He looked around and discovered that he was still standing in the dilapidated courtyard. No one in the surroundings had noticed the abnormality here. The matter of the black dragon's will devouring the demon blood source seemed to have all happened in an illusion. As for the young girl Shi Yueying, she was unconscious behind Kang Shinmu, collapsed in the dilapidated courtyard. This made Kang Shinmu feel a little touched. Just now when he stepped into this dilapidated courtyard, this young girl stepped in without hesitation, not caring about her own safety at all. Her emotions were naturally obvious, and it was impossible for Kang Shinmu not to feel it. He went forward and carried the young girl's slender body, then left the dilapidated courtyard in 2 or 3 steps. The demon blood source has already been devoured by me. That pack of scarlet demon wolves should have retreated, right? Kang Shinmu thought. He first placed the young girl Shi Yueying back in the room of the inn, then once again set off towards the city gate. After all, he was the one who devoured the demon blood source. So if he didn't go and check the situation outside, he would feel uneasy. Chapter 3997. Kang Shinmu quickly returned to the city wall. Of course, before leaving Shi Yueying, he was sure that she had only fallen asleep temporarily and was fine. Otherwise, he would not have left her behind and left alone. When he returned to the city wall, he discovered that Xia Yundu, Yulin Feng, and the others, as well as many dragon warriors in Laozhan City, had gathered together and were looking outside the city with solemn expressions. At this moment, the entire area outside Laozhan City was a world of scarlet wolves. There were even terrifying wolves equivalent to the Nirvana Tribulation realm. 3 scarlet demon wolves the size of small mountains appeared outside Qinshan City. At that moment, their eyes were completely red as they stared towards Qinshan City. Due to the obstruction of the Dragon Seal Formation, they were unable to sense the situation within the city. However, they could confirm that the source of demon blood was still inside Laozhan City. Because it was surrounded by scarlet wolves, it could not escape. 3 scarlet demonic wolves that were equivalent to the Nirvana Tribulation realm constantly commanded the surrounding scarlet demonic wolves to attack the Dragon Seal Array outside Mtimang City. Scarlet demonic wolves constantly rushed toward the Dragon Seal Array and self-destructed. It was impossible for these weak scarlet wolves to break through the defense of the Dragon Seal Formation. Therefore, letting them self-destruct would cause even more damage to the Dragon Seal Formation. As for the 3 Nirvana Tribulation realm scarlet wolves, they were hundreds of feet tall and over 600 feet long. Even the dragon warriors with the Sky Dragon inheritance seemed insignificant in front of them. They stared at Laozhan City from 3 different directions. However, these 3 scarlet wolves were not the leaders of this pack of scarlet wolves. Just as Jiang Shenwu returned to the city wall, drawing the attention of Xia Yundo and the others and about to come over to speak, a bloody aura suddenly soared into the sky from outside the city. In the distant forest deep in the mountains, a bloody beam of light condensed into a pillar of light that shot into the sky. Following closely behind the bloody pillar of light was a terrifying scarlet wolf more than 1,000 feet long. Its eyes seemed to contain everything in the world, and its blood-red eyes revealed the Azura Hell. It stepped through the air towards Laozhan City. As soon as this 300-meter-long scarlet demon wolf appeared, all the scarlet demon wolves outside Mtimang City prostrated themselves on the ground. Other than the 3 Nirvana Tribulation realm scarlet demonic wolves, the other scarlet demonic wolves all trembled. The one that appeared in front of them was their king, the leader of the scarlet demonic wolves, possessing strength that surpassed the Nirvana Tribulation realm. Break into the city. The scarlet demon wolf's eyes flashed with intelligence. It was obvious that this was a highly intelligent demonic beast that couldn't be compared to ordinary demonic beasts. Moreover, it could even speak the human language. A demonic beast of this level wasn't something a small city like Laozhan City could deal with. The Scarlet Devil Wolf leader let out an angry roar, and the order to break through the city spread to all the Scarlet Devil wolves in the mountains, causing them to attack the Dragon Seal Formation even more fiercely. Moreover, even the 3 Nirvana Tribulation realm Scarlet Fiend wolves had joined the siege. The power of blood condensed in the Scarlet Devil Wolf's mouth and erupted, forming blood-colored beams of light that shot towards the Dragon Seal Formation outside Mtimang City. Under this volley of attacks, the blood-colored power caused the entire Dragon Seal Formation to tremble as if it was about to collapse. Many of the dragon practitioners on the city walls were shocked, and their expressions changed greatly. Kang Shinmu, didn't you say that Dragon Prisoner City already knows about the situation here? Why hasn't anyone come to support us yet? Xia Yunda's eyes were bloodshot, and he couldn't help but question Kang Shinmu. When he saw the 300-meter-long Scarlet Demon Wolf leader, he knew that Mtimang City was doomed this time. Perhaps all the creatures in the city, including the dragon practitioners, wouldn't be able to survive. In front of such a terrifying giant, even a heavenly dragon inheritance dragon practitioner who had reached the Nirvana Tribulation realm would find it difficult to escape, let alone these small fries. They would most likely be crushed by the Scarlet Devil Wolf's foot. As soon as he said this, many of the surrounding dragon practitioners glared at Kang Shinmu, as if he was the culprit behind this situation. Kang Shinmu calmly said, Dragon Prisoner City already knows about the situation, but it will take time to send people over. This Dragon Seal Formation won't be broken in a short period of time. It will definitely be able to last until reinforcements arrive. You think you can last until reinforcements arrive just because you say so? If reinforcements don't arrive by the time the dragon seal formation is broken, I'll feed you to the wolves first. Xia Yandu coldly snorted. He originally wanted to take advantage of the chaos to kill Kang Shinmu and claim credit in front of sacred dragon Xia Yan, then try to leave Mtimang City and go to Dragon Prisoner City to develop. But now, all he could think about was preserving his own life. Outside Mtimang City, the Scarlet Devil Wolf Chief was several times taller than the city walls. It was as if a mountain had appeared out of thin air. The color of blood continued to spread in the sky, dyeing the entire night sky blood red. Outside Mtimang City, it was as if the end of the world had arrived, causing Xia Yandu, Yulin Feng, and the others to be scared out of their wits. Even though they were dragon practitioners, they had never seen such a terrifying demonic beast. They had never imagined that a mere Mtimang City would be attacked by a demonic beast. They had no idea why, now that all the dragon practitioners of Mtimang City were gathered here, it was likely that the Scarlet Devil Wolf Chief would kill them with a single slap. Among them, the other dragon practitioners of Mtimang City, including Xia Yandu and Yulin Feng, all had ugly expressions on their faces. They all felt that the current situation was truly despairing. Only Kang Shinmu was extremely calm. He constantly observed the clouds in the sky. After a while, he finally said, "The people from Dragon Prison City are here." The clouds in the sky were already dyed blood red. The Scarlet Devil Wolf Pack continued to launch fierce attacks at the Dragon Seal Formation. However, Kang Shinmu still discovered some movement in the clouds. The clouds in the sky began to move to the sides rhythmically. Several dragon figures could be vaguely seen in the clouds. When Kang Shinmu discovered this situation, Xia Yandu and the others also looked towards the clouds in the distance. Finally, they also discovered the situation. Immediately, they had a look of pleasant surprise. "They're really here, they're really here." At this moment, the dragon practitioners all cheered, completely forgetting their previous distrust of Kang Shinmu. Right now, they were completely immersed in the joy of being rescued and did not have the mood to care about Kang Shinmu. It was even more impossible for them to apologize for their rebuke to Kang Shinmu just now. But at this moment, a crisp sound came from the Dragon Seal Formation outside Mtimang City. A Nirvana Tribulation Realm Scarlet Devil Wolf suddenly erupted with a blood-colored beam of light, blasting a hole in the Dragon Seal Formation. Chapter 3998. The Dragon Seal Formation was broken by the bloody light beam, causing many dragon martialists to cry out in surprise. They had just seen powerful dragon martialists coming to reinforce them from the clouds in the sky. They hadn't expected the Dragon Seal Formation to be broken, so they couldn't react in time. Xia Yandu, who bore the brunt of the attack, was excited to see the indistinct figure of the dragon warrior on the horizon. Before he could react, he was struck by the bloody beam of light that had broken the Dragon Seal Formation. His entire body was engulfed in that bloody demonic energy. "Ah!" Xia Yandu screamed. His whole body seemed to be corroded and burned by the bloody light beam. He quickly festered. He subconsciously transformed into a dragon warrior and wanted to resist it. Unfortunately, this bloody pillar of light was a terrifying attack from a Nirvana Tribulation Realm Scarlet Demon Wolf. Even if he transformed into a divine dragon, he still couldn't resist the corrosive power within it. In almost an instant, the divine dragon that Xia Yandu had transformed into was corroded into a pool of blood and merged with the bloody light beam. Everyone saw that after the bloody light beam broke the Dragon Seal Formation, Xia Yandu was engulfed in it, and then it blasted into a tower in Laozhan City, directly piercing through it. The next moment, the tower collapsed. The power of the bloody light beam spread out in Laozhan City and landed on the buildings, directly corroding the bricks and tiles. Just this alone caused many civilians to fall into a predicament and die. The other dragon martialists were glad that the bloody light beam didn't hit them. Only Kang Shinmu was frowning slightly. This matter was all caused by the demonic blood source. It was unknown where these scarlet demon wolves came from. Now that the demonic blood source had been devoured by him, the ones who suffered in the end were the commoners in Emtimang City. He suddenly felt a little sad. Unfortunately, there was nothing he could do now. He could only watch as the people in Laoshan City were engulfed by the bloody light beam and died without any ability to resist. Damn it! Kang Shinmu gritted his teeth. He turned his head and looked up into the sky. Finally, he saw the powerful dragon martialists from Dragon Prisoner City descending from the clouds in the sky. Leading them was the sacred dragon, Shi Tao. Sacred dragon Shi Tao actually came in person. Kang Shinmu was a little surprised, but his confidence was immediately ignited. With the sacred dragon Shi Tao leading the way, it was unlikely that the Scarlet Demon Wolves would be able to escape. Behind Shi Tao were 3 Nirvana Tribulation Realm Elders. The 3 dragon martialists were also extremely powerful, and they weren't much weaker than the sacred dragon Shi Tao. A total of 4 people descended from the sky, with Holy Dragon Shi Tao flying directly toward the Scarlet Wolf Chief. Both sides were roughly equal in strength, and only someone at Holy Dragon Shi Tao's level could contend with the giant Scarlet Wolf Chief, which was more than a kilometer long. The 3 Nirvana Tribulation Elders of the Shi clan charged towards the 3 Nirvana Tribulation Scarlet Wolves, temporarily suppressing and blocking their attacks on the Dragon Seal formation. Based on the current situation, Shi Tao and the others would soon be able to deal with the leading Scarlet Werewolves. When that happened, there would only be a small group of Scarlet Werewolves left, and they would no longer pose a threat to Emtimang City. Let's block the gap first. Kang Shinmu finally relaxed when he saw that reinforcements had arrived. He immediately transformed into a black dragon and flew to the vicinity of the Dragon Seal formation, which had a hole blasted open, and blocked it. Many Scarlet Demon Wolves rushed towards the gap in the Dragon Seal formation. They wanted to take the opportunity to rush into the city to find the source of demon blood. Unfortunately, Kang Shinmu reacted quickly. He transformed into a devouring dragon and killed several ordinary Scarlet Demon Wolves in the blink of an eye. However, as soon as the gap appeared, more and more Scarlet Demon Wolves rushed over. They were like ants, so dense that they couldn't be counted. Kang Shinmu called out, wanting the other dragon martialists to come and help block the gap. However, Xia Yunda's death had scared the dragon martialists out of their wits. Even Yu Linfeng and the other dragon martialists didn't dare to approach the gap. They were afraid that if the 3 Nirvana Tribulation Realm Scarlet Demon Wolves finished off their respective dragon martialist opponents and came to attack the gap, wouldn't they die? Seeing that the group of dragon martialists were actually cowering at the back and didn't dare to come forward, Kang Shinmu suddenly felt a sense of anger. Didn't these guys usually call themselves the guards of Laoshan City? Now that Laoshan City was in danger, they actually didn't dare to come and participate in the battle. Kang Shinmu didn't pay attention to this group of dragon martialists. He transformed into a black dragon. It just so happened that he needed to get used to his new strength after breaking through. It was also good that this group of people didn't come. Kang Shinmu could properly hone himself by himself. He shouted. In the next moment, he fused with the dragon-grade halberd of Heavenly Sage. His whole body flickered with golden light. Countless shadow dragon teeth with golden light blasted towards the gap in the Dragon Seal formation. Groups of Scarlet Demon Wolves rushed towards the gap in the Dragon Seal formation like a surging tide. Even though Kang Shinmu's attack was swift and fierce, and the shadow dragon teeth rained down like a torrential rain, he still couldn't stop all the Scarlet Demon Wolves from rushing in. There were always 1 or 2 Scarlet Demon Wolves that just happened to dodge all the shadow dragon teeth and successfully rushed into Laoshan City. Once a gap appeared in the Dragon Seal formation, it was very difficult to fill it. After all, the Dragon Seal formation was a simple defensive method laid down by a tyrannical dragon martialist. If there were experts in Laoshan City who could repair the Dragon Seal formation, then they wouldn't be facing this situation now, and there wouldn't be a need for the experts of Dragon Prison City to come and support. Void-piercing dragon shadow. Facing the 1 or 2 Scarlet Demon Wolves that dodged the shadow dragon teeth and rushed into Laoshan City, Kang Shinmu directly activated his dragon movement martial skill. He had already comprehended the void-piercing dragon's shadow to the level of a dragon, and the speed he displayed it was extremely fast. The black dragon flashed with golden light as it streaked across the sky. Under the night sky, it instantly killed all the scarlet demon wolves that escaped. Immediately after, he returned to the gap as fast as he could and unleashed all his strength to hunt down the scarlet demon wolves that wanted to break through the gap. The goal of these scarlet demon wolves wasn't to enter the city to cause destruction, but in the process of searching for the source of demon blood, they would definitely destroy all the civilian buildings along the way, which would cause heavy losses to the entire Laoshan city. Kang Shinmu would never let any scarlet demon wolf step into the city. At this moment, the scarlet demon wolf chief, who was fighting against the sacred dragon Shitao in the distance, suddenly looked in the direction where Kang Shinmu was. This glance seemed to be able to see through Kang Shinmu's entire body. Could it have seen that the source of demon blood is on me? Chapter 3999. Kang Shinmu's worries were not without reason, but he soon discovered that even if the scarlet demon wolf discovered that he had the source of demon blood, it couldn't do anything to him. That was because Shitao was firmly suppressing the scarlet demon wolf chief. The scarlet demon wolf wasn't a match for him at all. This was the first time Kang Shinmu had seen a divine dragon in action. Shitao had transformed into a giant divine dragon, shimmering with a divine light. Clouds and mist swirled around his body, making it impossible to see what kind of divine dragon he was. Shitao could summon the wind and rain, and the power of endless wind and rain descended from the sky. Lava exploded and glaciers shattered, constantly falling on the scarlet demon wolf's body. Giant meteors constantly fell from the sky, piercing through the night sky and smashing into the scarlet demon wolf's body, smashing it so hard that it couldn't even fight back. In the depths of the night sky, sparks flew everywhere. Outside Laoshan city, the mountains and rivers were almost torn apart, and terrifying cracks constantly appeared in the ground. If an ordinary civilian fell into these cracks, not even their corpses would be found. This was the scene of a battle between super experts at the divine dragon level. Both Shitao and the scarlet demon wolf were existences that surpassed the Nirvana tribulation realm. All of them had once overcome the Nirvana tribulation and fought against the energy of the heavens and the earth. They didn't cultivate for the sake of becoming stronger, and they even cultivated for the sake of living. All of this was because the Nirvana tribulation within the Nirvana tribulation realm was terrifying. At the 7th level of the divine martial realm, dragon warriors could already sense the existence of heaven and earth. And after breaking through to the divine martial realm, dragon warriors would face the terrifying Nirvana tribulation that descended from heaven and earth. Under the Nirvana tribulation, many dragon warriors would be crushed to pieces. Those who could survive the 9th level of the Nirvana tribulation realm were absolutely top existences in this world. Shitao was such an existence. The scarlet demonic wolf was the same kind of existence. Such an existence was still too far away for Kang Shinmu, but it seemed that the Nirvana tribulation realm was nothing to the black dragon consciousness in his body. Countless dragon warriors had fallen in the Nirvana tribulation. Sacred Dragon Shitao was a terrifying expert who could break through the Nirvana tribulation. At this moment, when he fought against an opponent of the same level, he could really tear the heavens and earth apart. In just a short period of battle, the deep mountains and forests outside of Emtimang City had been completely destroyed. It was completely different from its previous lush state. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the world had been turned upside down. Kang Shinmu watched the battle between Shitao and the Scarlet Demon Wolf Chief from afar. His blood was boiling with anticipation. A battle between experts of this level had the power to destroy heaven and earth. He wondered when he would be able to reach such a level. Right now, I am at the 4th level of the divine martial arts realm. It'll take a long time for me to step into the Nirvana tribulation realm, let alone cross the Nirvana tribulation realm. Kang Shinmu thought. He thought of the introduction of the Nirvana tribulation realm that he had seen before. This was a stage where the dragon martial artist fought against the power of the heavens and earth. At this stage, the dragon martial artist had to constantly fight against the 9 stages of nirvana tribulation that came from the heavens and earth. If they were unable to pass through it, they would be destroyed and die under the nirvana tribulation. If he were to overcome the nirvana tribulation realm, he would be able to step into the next realm and become an even stronger existence. Just like the current sacred dragon Shitao, Kang Shinmu constantly blocked the scarlet demon wolves from charging through the gap in the dragon seal formation. If it were anyone else, they really wouldn't be able to resist for so long. But Kang Shinmu was different. He had the innate ability of devouring. As he killed the scarlet demon wolves, he also constantly devoured the life, flesh, and essence of the scarlet demon wolves, transforming their life force and bloody energy into pure energy to replenish his own consumption. In addition, now that his cultivation had risen to the next level, he didn't have to expend much energy when dealing with these scarlet demon wolves. Even if these scarlet demon wolves continued to advance like this, it would be impossible for them to break through Kang Shinmu's blockade. As long as he blocked this place alone, he would be like a dragon holding the pass, unable to break through. In the distance, the dragon warriors of Kainshan City who were fleeing in all directions saw Jiang Shenwu act so valiantly all by himself, blocking the gap in the dragon seal formation by himself. Each and every one of them had looks of extreme shock in their eyes. Among them, Yu Linfeng's eyes flashed. This kid's strength seems to have improved compared to before. Even a heavenly demon scarlet demon wolf at the 5th level of the divine martial realm couldn't last more than 2 rounds against him. He still clearly remembered that not long ago, when Kang Shinmu was hunting scarlet demon wolves outside, a heavenly demon scarlet demon wolf with strength equivalent to the 5th level of the divine martial realm had come. In the end, Kang Shinmu had found it very difficult to deal with, and had even almost been killed by him and Xia Yun outside. But in just a short period of time, Kang Shinmu had slaughtered a heavenly demon scarlet demon wolf at the 5th level of the divine martial realm like slaughtering dogs. This made it hard for Yu Linfeng to imagine what had happened to this kid in such a short period of time. Also, where did the girl who was walking with this brat go? It seemed that the girl was the daughter of Holy Dragon Shitao. Could this kid have done something to her? With this thought in mind, Yu Linfeng quietly left the city wall and ran toward Mtimang City. He wanted to see if he could obtain any useful information. If he was lucky, this might be a turning point in his cultivation. It was also at this moment that the 3 Rebirth Tribulation Realm experts from the Shi clan estate had finally heavily injured the 3 Scarlet Fiend Wolves that were equivalent to Rebirth Tribulation Realm experts. The surroundings of Mtimang City had already become a sea of flames and mountains of blades. Countless Scarlet Fiend Wolf corpses had been incinerated into nothingness, and it was like the scene of Azura. At the same time, Holy Dragon Shitao's terrifying power finally broke through the Scarlet Demon Wolf's defense and cut off one of its front claws. Even though the Scarlet Demon Wolf had extremely strong recovery abilities, it couldn't regrow its front claws, which were an important part of the Scarlet Demon Wolf's combat strength. Let's go. The Scarlet Demon Wolf snorted coldly. Without any hesitation, it glanced in the direction of the city wall where Kang Shinmu was, then called for the other Scarlet Demon Wolves to retreat. Although it couldn't defeat Holy Dragon Shitao in a head-on battle, Shitao couldn't stop it if it wanted to escape. In the next moment, the 3 heavily injured Scarlet Fiend Wolves immediately followed the leader of the Scarlet Fiend Wolves and fled towards the depths of the mountains in the distance. An endless stream of Scarlet Demon Wolves appeared in the mountains and surged toward Mtimang City. As the Scarlet Fiend Wolf chief fled, the other Scarlet Fiend Wolves surrounded Shitao and the others, preventing them from catching up to their leader. Chapter 4000. Shitao didn't hesitate at all. He took 2 Nirvana Realm Elders with him and flew towards the blood-red spatial gate. The remaining Elder stayed behind to deal with the Scarlet Wolves outside Laoshan City. After all, there were too many of them. Without the help of Dragon Prison City's people, Laoshan City wouldn't be able to deal with them on its own. Very soon, the elder from the Shi clan's estate flew towards the gap in the dragon seal formation where Jiang Shenwu was. The enormous dragon blotted out the sun as the innate talent of explosive hurricane swept over. As it surged, it completely drowned the nearby scarlet demonic wolves. Not a single one of the remaining scarlet wolves could last more than a breath's time against the elder. As long as they were even grazed by his attack, only death awaited them. Kang Shinmu finally heaved a sigh of relief. The other dragon martialists of Emtimang City heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the Scarlet Demon Wolf Chief being repelled. Now, they finally felt relieved. Everything else was fine as long as they could survive. Now that the Scarlet Wolf Chief had retreated, and the Elder remained behind to deal with it, the remaining Scarlet Wolves couldn't pose any threat to Laoshan City. Kang Shinmu, you did well this time. When the Dragon King rewards you according to your contributions later, you'll definitely get a share. The elder flew to Kang Shinmu's side and laughed heartily. At first, he'd been puzzled by how Kang Shinmu had managed to gain Shi Tao's favor. After all, the kid didn't seem to be anything special. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be worth the attention of a holy dragon. From the looks of it now, the sacred dragon Shi Tao really had good insight. This time, if it weren't for Jiang Shenwu being in Kindred Mountain City would probably have suffered even more losses. If that happened, if the enslaved Dragon King blamed them, their Shi clan estate wouldn't be able to bear the responsibility. Fortunately, Kang Shinmu had blocked the Scarlet Demon Wolf's attack for such a long time at the broken part of the Dragon Seal formation, minimizing Emtimang City's losses. Although one of the Nirvana Tribulation Realm's Scarlet Demonic Wolf had destroyed the Dragon Seal formation, the losses in the city were still limited. There weren't many casualties, and it was still within an acceptable range. Let's not talk about this first. Kang Shinmu's face sank. I left Miss Shi Yueying in an inn. Just now, a wandering dragon warrior seemed to have gone to look for her. I'm afraid that someone will harm her, so we must retreat now. Humph. Someone dares to harm eldest miss? When the elder of the Shi clan heard this, he immediately snorted coldly, and a wave of anger appeared in his divine dragon eyes. Go over now. If you really discover someone harming the young miss, just kill him on the spot. In the face of the Scarlet Demon Wolves, there was actually a dragon warrior who did not deal with the demonic beasts to protect Emtimang City. Instead, he went to look for Shi Yueying and tried to harm her. If he could do such a thing, there would be no problem even if he was killed on the spot. Even if someone asked about it later, the holy dragon Shi Tao could bear the responsibility alone. There was no need to worry. All right. Kang Shinmu was waiting for him to say this. Seeing that the gap in the Dragon Seal formation was protected by the elder of the Shi clan, he turned around and flew in the direction of the inn in the city. Very soon, he returned to the inn where Shi Yueying was. Fortunately, Yu Linfeng doesn't seem to know where I placed Shi Yueying. When Kang Shinmu returned to his room, he found that Shi Yueying, who was in a deep sleep, had not woken up, nor had she encountered any accidents. He heaved a sigh of relief and went forward to carry Shi Yueying, preparing to leave with her. After all, it was not safe here. Yu Linfeng might come looking for him at any time. Although Kang Shinmu was not afraid of him, it would not be good if they fought in Emtimang City and damaged the facilities of the nearby cities. He took Shi Yueying and quietly left the inn. He did not know where Yu Linfeng was, but Kang Shinmu did not intend to stay in Emtimang City. The leader of the Scarlet Demon Wolves has temporarily retreated, and the surrounding Scarlet Demon Wolves seem to have lost their backbone. They no longer have as strong a desire to fight as before. Kang Shinmu returned to the city walls of Emtimang City with Shi Yueying in his arms. When he looked outside the city walls, he found that the Scarlet Demon Wolves had begun to retreat into the mountains and forests. Many of them were flying towards one of the mountains, which puzzled Kang Shinmu. The direction of that mountain was where the holy dragon Shi Tao had discovered the space-time gate. The Scarlet Demon Wolves had run out of the space-time gate, so they naturally wanted to go back through it. Unfortunately, the space-time gate seemed a little unstable and could collapse at any time. Kang Shinmu observed the situation from afar and found that the spacetime there was somewhat unstable. The black dragon's consciousness in his body once again showed signs of awakening. There's something strange about that spacetime gate. Kang Shinmu held Shi Yueying in his arms. He was somewhat hesitant about what to do next. Holy Dragon Shi Tao has already gone to the spacetime gate to chase after the leader of the Scarlet Demon Wolves. However, he probably didn't expect the spacetime gate to be so unstable. If the spacetime gate directly shatters, I'm afraid Holy Dragon Shi Tao won't be able to return. Kang Shinmu began to worry. Holy Dragon Shi Tao had always treated him well and had always taken good care of him. He had even given him the dragon-grade weapon, the halberd of the Heavenly Sage, which was why he had such formidable combat strength. Now that Holy Dragon Shi Tao seemed to be in danger, it was impossible for Kang Shinmu to ignore it. Of course, Holy Dragon Shi Tao was much stronger than him, but the current situation was not something that could be resolved with strength alone. If the spacetime gate directly collapsed, Holy Dragon Shi Tao would be trapped on the other side of the spacetime gate, unable to return. Then, the situation of the remaining Shi clan residents could be imagined. It would definitely be suppressed by the other Holy Dragon residences. Even if Dragon King Qiu lost Holy Dragon Shi Tao, the entire Shi clan residents might not be able to continue existing. After all, to Qiu Dragon King Qiu, he did not set his sights on the Shi clan residents, but on Holy Dragon Shi Tao, the dragon martial artist who inherited the Holy Dragon's blood essence. In this way, Kang Shinmu's situation would become extremely dangerous. Disregarding everything else, Holy Dragon Xia Yan definitely wanted to get rid of Kang Shinmu as soon as possible. I have to follow him. This is the only way. Kang Shinmu thought to himself and immediately decided to follow. Chapter 4001. Kang Shinmu had wanted to make Shi Yueying stay, but on second thought, if something were to happen to Shi Tao, Shi Yueying would also be bullied outside and fall into a predicament. Since that was the case, it was better to bring her to the other side of the spatial gate. Soon, Jiang Shenwu brought Shi Yueying and transformed into a black dragon, flying to the spacetime gate. Packs of scarlet demon wolves wanted to return to the other side through the spacetime gate, but unfortunately, the spacetime gate was a little unstable. Moreover, the competition among the scarlet wolves was fierce. Only the stronger ones could run ahead of the other scarlet wolves and rush into the spatial gate. This was a ring-shaped gate that emitted a gentle white light. It contained rich spacetime energy, and through this spatial gate, one could go to another mysterious place. On the other side of the spatial gate, Kang Shinmu couldn't possibly know what was on the other side. Not even Shi Tao could. Let's go. Kang Shinmu turned into a black dragon and soared into the sky. The heavenly sacred halberd on his body flashed with golden light as he killed a pack of scarlet wolves near the spatial gate. Then, he flew into the spatial gate with Shi Yueying. The next moment, a gentle white light flashed before his eyes, and he found himself in a dusky yellow world filled with the smell of blood. Kang Shinmu looked around and found that he was in a dense forest. In the sky, there was a blood-colored moon that shone down on the earth. The spatial gate behind him had become quite unstable, but it could still be maintained for a while. The thick smell of blood wafted from the forest, making Kang Shinmu feel uncomfortable. This dense forest seemed to be covered in demon beasts. However, these demon beasts had already fled in all directions because the divine dragon Shi Tao was leading 2 rebirth tribulation realm elders of the Shi clan in pursuit of the scarlet demon wolf chief not too far away. At this time, the girl in Kang Shinmu's arms seemed to move a little, which made Kang Shinmu relax a little. The girl had finally woken up. The first thing Shi Yueying said when she opened her eyes was, "Where are we?" Even though she had just woken up from a deep sleep, she could still immediately sense the heavy and bloody atmosphere around her, causing her to subconsciously be on guard. Thus, Kang Shinmu told her everything that had just happened, causing her expression to change slightly. She glanced at the sky not far away. Under the blood-colored moon, the sacred dragon Shitao, who was also her father, was chasing after the Scarlet Demon Wolf Chief. It made her feel at ease. Since young, as long as his father was around, there was nothing that could not be solved. This is the heaven-opening demon realm. At this time, as if noticing Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying following them, a Nirvana Tribulation Realm elder of the Shi clan mansion flew back and came to their side. He said in a deep voice, "In the heaven-awakening demon realm, it is said that there is a demon dragon cultivator who leads tens of thousands of demon beasts. It is extremely far from the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. If the time gate shatters, we will definitely not be able to return. You two stay here and guard the time gate. If there are any problems, I will come to help you." "Yes, third great uncle." Shi Yueying nodded seriously. The person in front of them was an expert among the elders of the Shi clan mansion. He had followed the sacred dragon Shi Tao here and was his right-hand man. Right now, it was impossible for him to split his attention to look after Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying. Thus, he let Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying guard the time gate. Fortunately, there were no powerful demon beasts near the time gate. As long as they prevented the surrounding demon beasts from destroying the time gate, it would be fine. The Scarlet Demon Wolves had returned to the heaven-awakening demon realm through the time gate from Emtimang City and quickly scattered in all directions. They had no time to pay attention to the time gate, which saved Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying a lot of trouble. The heaven-awakening demon realm, Kang Shinmu looked around. This was the first time he had heard of such a thing. For a moment, he didn't know what it was. Shi Yueying, on the other hand, seemed to have heard of this place before. She explained to him, "This is a place where demon beasts live. Even dragon practitioners rarely come here. Once a dragon practitioner comes here, they will be besieged by many demon beasts. Rumor has it that even the strongest of the Yen Dragon Emperor's dynasty, the Yen Dragon Emperor, doesn't dare to casually go to a demon realm. Then aren't we in danger?" Kang Shinmu frowned. The Yen Dragon Emperor was the strongest existence of the Yen Dragon Emperor's dynasty. He was several levels stronger than the sacred dragon Shi Tao. Even he didn't dare to casually come to a demon realm. Now that they were in the heaven-awakening demon realm, wouldn't they be in trouble? "My father and the others probably found out after coming here that this is the heaven-awakening demon realm." Shi Yueying shook her head. "They probably won't stay for too long. We just have to wait for a while." Kang Shinmu nodded. After knowing that this was the heaven-awakening demon realm, the sacred dragon Shi Tao and the others definitely wouldn't stay here for too long. It was said that this heaven-awakening demon realm was ruled by a demon dragon. Who knew what kind of connection this demon dragon had with the dragon practitioners? Kang Shinmu didn't think too much about it. After all, from a distance, he could see that the Scarlet Demon Wolf leader was about to die at the hands of the sacred dragon Shi Tao. The Scarlet Demon Wolf leader must be killed by the sacred dragon Shi Tao for daring to invade the territory of Emtimang City near the dragon prison domain. Otherwise, it would be difficult to explain to the Dragon King. In the heaven-awakening demon realm, the crimson moon hung high in the sky. The smell of blood wafted in the wind, making people feel like they were in danger at any moment. And Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying didn't dare to relax for even a moment. Of course, it was mainly Kang Shinmu who was vigilant of the surroundings. He told Shi Yueying to pay a little more attention. After all, she had just woken up from a deep sleep. She had fallen into the illusion of the origin of demon blood, and her mind was a little tired. It was not suitable for her to be so tense all the time. In the next moment, the Scarlet Demon Wolf leader was finally killed under the joint attack of the sacred dragon Shi Tao and the two elders. But before it died, the Scarlet Demon Wolf leader roared into the sky. The wolf's howl accompanied the crimson moon and traveled an unknown distance. It even caused the night sky of the heaven-awakening demon realm to take on a tragic color. "Let's go." Holy Dragon Shi Tao didn't hesitate at all. He took the Scarlet Demon Wolf's corpse and returned to the space-time gate with a flick of his tail. Kang Shinmu breathed a sigh of relief. The matter was finally settled. A place like the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm was a dangerous place for him, and he couldn't gain anything from it. Chapter 4002. Holy Dragon Shi Tao quickly returned to the spatial gate with the two Nirvana Tribulation Elders of the Shi clan residence. Let's go back. Shi Tao didn't hesitate in the slightest. He wanted to pass through the spatial gate and return to Empty Mang City. Jiang Shenwu turned around and brought Shi Yueying with him as he prepared to pass through the spatial gate. However, at that moment, the ring-shaped spatial gate that was emitting a gentle white light suddenly let out an explosive sound before it exploded. This situation caused everyone's expression to change drastically. Fortunately, this spatial gate has not been completely destroyed. I can still repair it. One of the elders of the Shi clan, who was also Shi Yueying's third great-uncle, watched as the spatial gate exploded, but its basic structure still remained. He couldn't help but sigh in relief. It just needs a certain amount of time. Shi Tao, keep an eye on the surroundings. Don't let any Yao beasts approach. I'll be able to repair the spatial gate in about 5 minutes. All right. Shi Tao nodded and said to Kang Xinmu, stay here for now and don't move. We'll return as soon as the spatial gate is repaired. Kang Xinmu nodded. But at this moment, his heart was beating faster and faster. The Black Dragon's consciousness was also growing clearer and clearer. It was as if something worthy of the Black Dragon's attention was rapidly approaching them from afar. What could it be? Kang Xinmu's heart skipped a beat. If it was some extremely powerful existence, perhaps even Shi Tao wouldn't be able to deal with it. If that was the case, all of them would probably perish here. However, given the Scarlet Demon Wolf leader's strength, it's still beyond his power to construct a spatial gate like this. Kang Xinmu began to ponder, his eyes flashing with shrewdness. The one coming now might be the mastermind behind the Scarlet Demon Wolves. He wanted to see what kind of person would use a spatial gate to target the essence of Yao blood. It was true that the origin of demon blood had a strong effect on demonic beasts, but for the demonic beasts of the heaven-opening demon realm, there was no need to travel so far to obtain this thing, right? Unfortunately, he now knew that even the sacred dragon Shi Tao would not be able to deal with that person once he appeared. If the other party really descended, they would all die here. None of them would be able to escape. However, the Black Dragon's consciousness seems to be getting clearer. Kang Xinmu could now sense the Black Dragon's consciousness in his body gradually awakening. It gave him a rather strange feeling, as though the Black Dragon's consciousness and the existence that was about to arrive had some inexplicable connection. As for whether this was good or bad, Kang Xinmu could not be sure. Right now, the essence of the demon blood is within my body. However, it has already been devoured and turned into my own strength. Even if the other party comes, they won't be able to snatch it away. Kang Xinmu was very sure of this, but if the other party was angry, he could still kill him, and the holy dragon Shi Tao would most likely not be able to stop him. They might even be buried here together. Shi Yueying's third great-uncle began to repair the slightly shattered spacetime gate while the others stood guard at the side. Not long after, the surrounding world changed color. The wind and clouds were suffused with a scarlet color. It was as if the entire sky had been sliced open, and strands of blood seeped out from it. Moreover, the strands of blood seeped down from the sky like a waterfall, pouring down to the ground. The sky changed color, and even the holy dragon Shi Tao's expression changed. The one coming is definitely a powerful existence that surpasses me. Shi Tao's eyes were filled with solemnity. We must hurry. Otherwise, I'm afraid none of us will be able to escape. He threw the 1,000-meter-long corpse of the Scarlet Demon Wolf Chief onto the ground. He was already prepared to fight against the expert that had descended from the demon realm. No matter what, he was now the strongest among them. No matter what, he had to delay the other party no matter what. At the very least, he had to protect the lives of Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying. He knew very well that under such circumstances, no one could help them. Now that the spacetime gate was in a half-broken state, even if the Dragon King was near Laosan City, he would not be able to pass through the spacetime gate and come here. They could only rely on themselves. The spacetime gate was rapidly repairing itself, but it did not seem to be fast enough. As the sky changed color, a blood-red light seeped down from the clouds, forming a blood-red sky. The holy dragon Shitao's expression became more and more solemn. Soon after, a pungent wind blew, and a gust of blood blew through the dense forest, causing everyone's divine dragon bodies to be stained with the strong smell of blood. Roar! At this moment, a humongous creature suddenly poked its head out of the clouds. It was a blood-red dragon. Just its head alone was about the same size as the divine dragon that Shitao had transformed into. As the blood-red dragon sped down from the clouds in the sky seemed to be lifted, and a blood-red color covered the world. The giant blood-red eyes of the dragon flashed with a bloodthirsty light. It stared at Shitao, Kang Shinmu, and the others, who were near the shattered spacetime gate. There was a hint of mockery in its eyes, as if it was mocking them for overestimating themselves. Heaven Awakening Dragon. The holy dragon Shitao's expression changed drastically. He had not expected that the ruler of the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm, the Heaven Awakening Dragon, would come in person. What exactly could have caused such a powerful existence to appear? It must be said that the Heaven Awakening Dragon was much more powerful than the Dragon King. Even if the Dragon King came, he would not be a match for the Heaven Awakening Dragon. Perhaps only an existence at the level of the Dragon Emperor would be able to gain some advantage against the Heaven Awakening Dragon. It's a demon dragon indeed. Kang Shinmu's black dragon body was almost completely covered in a layer of blood-red light. Under this layer of blood-red light, his entire black dragon body seemed somewhat ferocious. However, compared to the Heaven Awakening Dragon in the sky, there was still a huge difference. Right now, Jiang Shenwu was not even comparable to an ant in front of the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon. The Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon only needed to casually blow a breath, and Jiang Shenwu would be completely annihilated, turning into ashes amidst the blood. However, at this moment, the source of demon blood in his body began to boil, and the black dragon's consciousness finally awakened completely. One of Kang Shinmu's dragon eyes revealed a feeling of overlooking the world. This divine dragon eye was completely occupied by the black dragon's consciousness at this moment. At the same time, a heart-palpitating aura was released from the divine dragon's eye. The moment this aura appeared, it seemed to be able to contend with the Heaven Awakening Dragon in the sky, causing the other party's bloodthirsty killing intent to dissipate significantly. This situation made the holy dragon Shitao look at Kang Shinmu in surprise. Chapter 4003. The Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon's entire body was blood-red, and the light shone on the earth. He looked at the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into, and his blood-red eyes showed a hint of seriousness. The huge dragon body of the Heaven-Opening Demon Dragon whizzed down from above the clouds. It was as though the entire sky was occupied by the dragon's body. The blood-red color even covered the original demonic moon's light and enveloped everyone below. He had originally come for the origin of demon blood, but now it seemed that he had obtained a great harvest. The powerful black dragon consciousness in Kang Shinmu's body immediately attracted the attention of the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon. "You guys go first, I'll go by some time," Kang Shinmu said in a low voice, and the black dragon that he had transformed into flew straight up. At this moment, even the others present had become unable to move. Only Kang Shinmu could continue to move under the terrifying aura of the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon without any hindrance. This somewhat shocked Holy Dragon Shitao. This boy has secrets. Although he hasn't told us, he's asking us to go first. Is he going to sacrifice himself? Holy Dragon Shitao was somewhat surprised. His current strength was already considered an extremely powerful existence among the dragon warriors. In the entire dragon prison domain, his combat strength was second only to that of the Dragon King. But now, facing the heaven-awakening demon dragon, he could only flee. Shi Yueying's face was full of worry. She did not want to just leave like this and leave Kang Shinmu behind, but now that Kang Shinmu had transformed into a black dragon and was flying up to meet the heaven-awakening demon dragon, the others could only watch from below. The space-time gate has been repaired. After Kang Shinmu transformed into a black dragon and flew up, the space-time gate was finally restored under the repair of Shi Yueying's third great-uncle. Let's go. Shi Yueying's third great-uncle turned around and asked, and then he was surprised. That boy, how did he fly up? He had focused all his attention on repairing the gate of time and space, so he hadn't noticed that Kang Shinmu had actually gone up alone to fight against the heaven-opening demonic dragon. He suddenly felt that it was inconceivable. Logically speaking, among the group of dragon warriors, Kang Shinmu's strength was far inferior to his and the holy dragon Shi Tao's. Even if someone were to bring up the rear, it should be the old guys like them who would try their best to fight for the young ones' lives. But now, Kang Shinmu had taken the initiative to fly forward in an attempt to block the heaven-awakening demon realm lord, the heaven-awakening demon dragon. Wasn't this a joke? It's fine. You guys go first. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao remained calm. He had just sensed the mysterious and profound aura emanating from Kang Shinmu's body. That aura made him shudder. Although it seemed that the strength of Kang Shinmu and the heaven-awakening demon dragon were completely unequal, and the heaven-awakening demon dragon could probably kill Kang Shinmu with just a spit of saliva, it was really hard to predict what would happen in reality. Even Sacred Dragon Shi Tao had never encountered such a thing, but he had heard many strange legends. These legends sounded unbelievable. It was impossible to encounter such things in the dragon prison domain, and they had probably never happened before. But in this world, they really did exist. Now, the consciousness that erupted from Kang Shinmu's body was most likely a legend. Father, what about Kang Shinmu? At this moment, Shi Yueying was a little anxious. She was even unwilling to leave with her third great-uncle. Believe me, he will be fine. I will stay here and guard him. If there are any problems, I will bear them together with him. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao said in a low voice. It's better for your daughter to stay. Shi Yueying shook her head vigorously. She had already developed feelings for Kang Shinmu. There was no way she would abandon Kang Shinmu and escape alone. Now that Kang Shinmu had flown up to deal with the heaven-awakening demon dragon, she would not escape alone no matter what. You! Sacred Dragon Shi Tao saw that Shi Yueying had actually turned around. Not only did she not pass through the spatial gate, but she had also rushed out of the vicinity. He couldn't help but feel a little angry. But after thinking about it, he looked up at the sky and saw that Kang Shinmu was facing off against the heaven-awakening demon dragon. For some reason, he felt an inexplicable sense of hope for him. I hope this kid won't disappoint us. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao steeled his heart and raised his hand. Then let's go. Let them stay here. After all, Shi Yueying was not his only daughter. He couldn't give up everything and stay here. He now trusted Kang Shinmu very much. Just by seeing Kang Shinmu charge forward without hesitation, he knew that Kang Shinmu definitely had a certain degree of confidence in restraining the heaven-awakening demon dragon. If he stayed, it might instead make Kang Shinmu feel apprehensive. After all, the secret Kang Shinmu had revealed was definitely the most important secret in his heart. This secret had probably never been known to anyone else. Therefore, Sacred Dragon Shi Tao could be considered to have made Shi Yueying stay behind alone. In this way, Shi Yueying would be the only one who could see Kang Shinmu's secret. This would make the two of them even closer. On the other hand, if he left with the others, it would also allow Kang Shinmu to handle his matters freely. He wouldn't have to be restrained just because someone else was by his side. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao quickly left through the gate of time and space with the two Nirvana Tribulation Realm Dragon Warrior Elders. This surprised Shi Yueying a little. She originally thought that her father wouldn't leave her behind so easily, but the situation was exactly what she wanted. She alone was enough to stay behind to accompany Kang Shinmu. Anyway, even if something happened, her father's strength wouldn't be able to help much. If something happened, let her and Kang Shinmu suffer together, that was what she thought. However, in the sky above, the body of the black dragon, which was facing the heaven-awakening demon dragon, exuded a mysterious and terrifying aura. In one of the eyes of the black dragon, there seemed to be a profound sense that could pierce through the entire universe. Although the body of the black dragon was very different from that of the heaven-awakening demon dragon, the existence of this profound and mysterious aura made both sides in the sky evenly matched. Shi Tao and the others have left, but Shi Yueying hasn't. However, there's no other way. Now, only the consciousness of the black dragon can fight against the heaven-awakening demon dragon. Moreover, it might even be able to devour the heaven-awakening demon dragon. Kang Shinmu noticed the situation below but didn't pay much attention to it. Most of his attention was focused on the heaven-awakening demon dragon and the consciousness of the black dragon in his body. The consciousness of the black dragon was telling him that the heaven-awakening demon dragon in front of him was a mutant dragon warrior that had fused with the blood of some kind of demonic beast. It was a type of dragon warrior. If he devoured it, the quality of Kang Shinmu's divine dragon blood would improve greatly. Let me see what this heaven-awakening demon dragon is capable of. Chapter 4004. When Kang Shinmu roared and charged towards the heaven-awakening demon dragon that covered the sky, Shi Yueying was so shocked that she almost screamed. She had never imagined that Kang Shinmu would want to fight the heaven-awakening demon dragon head-on. However, it seemed that Kang Shinmu was confident. Otherwise, he would not have rushed to his death like this. He still has to solve the riddle of father. He can't just throw away his life like this. Could it be that he really has a way to deal with this heaven-awakening demon dragon? Shi Yueying was shocked. Even her father, the holy dragon Shi Tao, was not a match for this heaven-awakening demon dragon. Now that Kang Shinmu's strength was so far away, how could he possibly defeat the heaven-awakening demon dragon? However, she did not expect that Kang Shinmu had no intention of fighting the heaven-awakening demon dragon at all. He burst forth, and the black dragon consciousness in his body suddenly roared violently. The figure of a black dragon actually swept out from his body, and its ferocious aura was even more terrifying than the heaven-opening demonic dragons. An endless wave of pitch-black devouring power spread out, and in the next moment, it covered the sky and the sun. It was even more terrifying than the heaven-opening demonic dragon's aura. This is... Shi Yueying's expression changed slightly. She felt a terrifying aura coming from the pitch-black devouring power. She had never felt such an aura from Kang Shinmu before. But now, Kang Shinmu's black dragon body was still in midair, but he seemed to have fainted. Outside the black dragon body, a pitch-black devouring power rolled up and condensed into a pitch-black mystical dragon that was even larger than the heaven-awakening demon dragon. The moment this pitch-black mystical dragon appeared, it immediately suppressed the heaven-awakening demon dragon's aura. Oh. This is... The heaven-awakening demon dragon was a dragon warrior in the past. Now that he had become a demonic beast master, he was also considered a mystical dragon. Now that he felt the mysterious black dragon's aura, he immediately felt the threat from the pitch-black devouring power in front of him. He was shocked and bewildered. He did not know what kind of existence it was. He had wanted to devour the power of the demon blood source, but the demon blood source was devoured by Kang Shinmu and entered Kang Shinmu's body. Now that Kang Shinmu was in front of him, he had a bad feeling. Although he looked like a small dragon warrior, the aura in his body was too astonishing. Roar! The next moment, before the heaven-awakening demon dragon could do anything, the heaven-awakening demon dragon had already been engulfed by the heaven-awakening dragon. The endless devouring power was like a smokescreen that covered the sky. It shrouded the heaven-opening demon dragon from all directions and trapped it within. What Shi Yueying and the other demon beasts in the Heaven Awakening Demon realm couldn't see was that the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon began to fight against the devouring power. Unfortunately, it was no match for the devouring power. But now, Dragon had on like it was like a awakening demon dragon was as Heaven Dragon Zhou. That was dragon, King Dragon was weak. Heaven Dragon was demon. But now, in front of the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon, he was as weak as a baby. The power of the demon blood surged out ferociously, but it was unable to break through the obstruction of the devouring power. The devouring power gathered more and more, enveloping the heaven-opening demon dragon within. The heaven-opening demon dragon, who was like a god just now, was completely suppressed. The heaven-awakening demon dragon roared and charged. But no matter what he did, he could not break through the heaven-awakening demon beast king's encirclement. This was a result he had never expected. He did not expect to encounter such a situation. What kind of existence was this heaven-awakening demon beast king? Feeling that he was about to be devoured, he felt a sense of fear. He did not want to die. He did not want to die like this. He still wanted to rise and become stronger. His consciousness revealed such a thought. Then, a thought was transmitted to the heaven-awakening demon dragon's mind. This thought shocked him. It was as if he had just learned something incredible. Immediately, he no longer had any thoughts of resisting the heaven-awakening demon beast king. He let it gather and condense into a special force that eroded his body. It flowed through his muscles, bones, and blood vessels. At this time, Kang Xinmu finally woke up. He opened his pair of black dragon eyes and realized that the engulfing power had finally dissipated. The intimidating aura of the heaven-opening demon dragon had also completely disappeared. It had become somewhat obedient and docile. My lord. I am heaven-awakening demon beast king. I am willing to serve my lord. Heaven Awakening Demon Beast King immediately transformed into a young man in blood-red armor. He flew in front of Kang Xinmu and bowed respectfully with cupped fists. This situation made Kang Xinmu a little confused. He released the consciousness of the mysterious black dragon. Originally, he wondered if the black dragon could devour the Heaven Awakening Demon Beast King. Now, it seemed that the mysterious black dragon did not devour the heaven-awakening demon beast king. However, it seemed to make the dragon more obedient. This heaven-awakening demon beast king actually addressed Kang Xinmu as my lord. It was obvious that he was prepared to serve him as his lord. Kang Xinmu did not think that the heaven-awakening demon beast king was lying to him. He was so weak now. There was no need for the dragon to lie to him. Let her leave this place first. Kang Xinmu thought for a while and focused his attention on Shi Yueying, who was in the dense forest below. Whether it was for safety reasons or because it was not convenient for others to know what was going to happen next, Kang Xinmu had to ensure Shi Yueying's safe return first. Yes, my lord. The Heaven Awakening Demon Beast King nodded solemnly. Then, he raised his hand. A wave of blood-red power appeared and condensed into a space-time gate in front of Shi Yueying. Through this space-time gate, you can return to the territory of the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. Let your subordinate go over first and then come back to try. Kang Xinmu did not trust the dragon just like that. Instead, he let the dragon send one of his subordinates over to try. Yes. The Heaven Awakening Demon Beast did not hesitate and directly sent an ordinary demonic beast to step into the space-time gate. Then, it ran back through the space-time gate. This proved that the other side of the space-time gate was absolutely safe. Shi Yueying, go back first. I will be back soon. Kang Xinmu saw that the demonic beast had gone over and then returned. He knew that there was no problem with the space-time gate. So, he let Shi Yueying leave first. It's good that you are fine. Be careful. Shi Yueying was a little reluctant. However, under such circumstances, she understood that there was no point for her to stay. Now, she had recovered a little from the initial shock. This terrifying Heaven Awakening Demon Beast King, who had informed the entire Heaven Awakening Demon realm and whose strength was equivalent to that of the Dragon King Chiu, suddenly served Kang Shinmu as his lord? However, she knew that she could not get the answer to this question now. Perhaps even Kang Shinmu did not know the answer. With such a feeling, Shi Yueying stepped into the space-time gate. Important announcement, please be patient and read it. Actually, everyone knows that I am already married. My wife is my university classmate. Readers call her Sister Sha Sha. After graduation, we got married. Because I was busy with work and had to take care of my daily life, she has been unemployed. I am very grateful to her. However, I also know that everyone has their own dreams. They have their own work and topics to talk about. She is so young. I cannot let her become a housewife. I want her to be happy and have her own career. So, with my advice and help, she opened a Taobao shop. It mainly sells young men's clothing. T-shirts, shorts, and summer clothes are all available. The clothes are not expensive. They are priced at around 60 yuan. Small profits but quick turnover. Honest business. The goods have been personally inspected and the quality is not bad. There is a guarantee. Summer is here. Let's buy some clothes. I hope my brothers will support us after the opening of the new shop. In order to support his wife's career, Madman honestly did the following work. First, he worked hard to update 10 chapters. Second, he asked her to find a factory to customize 3 styles of dragon blood and sky swallowing t-shirts, a total of 300 pieces. The clothes are very beautiful. I am wearing them. When I open the shop, there are 3 styles in the most obvious position. They are dragon blood, sky swallowing, and Xingyang plus dragon. Third, he customized 300 sky swallowing posters. All of them have been personally signed. They will be given to the first 300 handsome men who placed an order. The pen name is not valuable. Just a souvenir. Don't laugh at me. Fourth, he organized a cameo event. Anyone who placed an order and received a piece of clothing can leave a 5-star rating and the name of the character you want to appear in the book in the comments section of the clothing. Then, you can get a character to appear in the book. In short, it is to get a character in the book with a 5-star rating. Because it is a xianxia novel, everyone should try to leave a xianxia style name. Don't bring any characters like Li Erden. Sha Sha will arrange all the 5-star rated character names for Madman. These are the 4 major activities. In addition, there are 2 free shipping activities for the entire event. Important. The name of the shop is Qingyang Studio. Everyone can open Taobao on their phones and search for Shop, Qingyang Studio, in the search box. Remember to add the words studio in the future. She will also do some design. She will design some clothes that are more xianxia and have elements of China mythology. Chapter 4005. After Shi Yueying left, Kang Shinmu breathed a sigh of relief. There was nothing for him to worry about for the time being. However, Kang Shinmu did not know why this Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon would recognize him as its master. He only knew that this matter was definitely related to the Black Dragon's consciousness in his body. As for the specifics, he did not know. Since you recognize me as your master, then is this Heaven Awakening Demon realm my territory? Kang Shinmu calmed himself down and asked the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon, who had transformed into a human form and was wearing blood-red armor. Of course. The humanoid Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon smiled and was very humble in front of Kang Shinmu. This entire Heaven Awakening Demon realm belongs to my master, including the trillions of demon beasts here. They will all listen to your command. How many demon beasts equivalent to the Nirvana Tribulation realm are there in this Heaven Awakening Demon realm? Kang Shinmu asked. There are more than 1,000 Nirvana Tribulation realm demon beasts. Among them, there are 9 Nirvana Tribulation Realm demon beasts with the bloodline of the sacred dragon. The rest are mostly demon beasts with the bloodline of the sky dragon. Qi Tian introduced, "My master. I have been in the Heaven Awakening demon realm for more than 100 years. I am the master of those 9 sacred dragon Nirvana Tribulation Realm demon beasts. As long as I control those 9 Nirvana Tribulation Realm demon beasts, I can command the billions of demon beasts in the entire Heaven Awakening demon realm." Sounds good. Kang Shinmu nodded, surprised by the current situation. At first, he did not expect such a turn of events. Now it seemed that he had really gotten a great deal. Although it was because of the Black Dragon's consciousness, this would undoubtedly become his capital for survival and development in the future. In the entire Heaven Awakening demon realm, there were trillions of demon beasts. There were also 9 Nirvana Tribulation Realm demon beasts equivalent to the bloodline of the sacred dragon. Each of them was as strong as the sacred dragon Shi Tao and the sacred dragon Xia Yan. In addition to the Heaven Awakening demon dragon himself, the overall strength of the Heaven Awakening demon realm far exceeded the entire dragon prison domain. The overall strength of the Heaven Awakening demon realm far exceeds that of the dragon prison domain. However, it is still quite difficult to compare to the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. The Heaven Awakening demon dragon seemed to see what Kang Shinmu was thinking and said respectfully, "However, our demon realm also has an alliance. The Heaven Awakening demon realm is only one of the demon realm alliance. If the Heaven Awakening demon realm is attacked by the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty and other forces, the other demon realms will also come to support. In other words, as long as we're in the Heaven Enlightening demon realm, we're basically absolutely safe." Kang Shinmu was a little surprised. He didn't expect that there would be an alliance in the demon realm and an agreement to provide support. This was also the reason why these demon realms could exist until now. Otherwise, with so many resources in the Heaven Awakening demon realm, it would have long been conquered by the Dragon Warrior Kingdom like the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. The specific location of our Heaven Awakening demon realm is under a mountain near the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. Qi Tian continued, "In other words, we're actually outside the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. If my lord wants to go back, you can use this subordinate's time-space gate to leave at any time. Whenever you want to come back, you can also inform this subordinate to open the time-space gate for you to return to the Heaven Awakening demon realm." That's great. Kang Shinmu nodded, "Then how do I inform you when I'm in the outside world?" This is the dragon scale on this subordinate's body. My lord only needs to transfer your innate power to this dragon scale and this subordinate will be able to sense it. Moreover, I will create a time-space gate at the location of the dragon scale. Qi Tian respectfully handed a blood-red dragon scale to Kang Shinmu. "How about giving me a few more pieces of this dragon scale?" Kang Shinmu took the dragon scale and asked with a light smile. "Of course, but this subordinate can only give you 3 dragon scales at most. If there are more, this subordinate can't take care of them all. After all, the place where my lord is located is very far from the Heaven Awakening demon realm." Qi Tian took out 2 more blood-red dragon scales and handed them to Kang Shinmu. Kang Shinmu put away the 3 blood-red dragon scales and still felt like he was in a dream. He didn't expect that he would go to the Heaven Awakening demon realm. He thought that he would be buried here, but in the end, by a freak combination of factors, he was the ruler of the entire Heaven Awakening demon realm. The master of the entire demon realm, the Heaven Awakening demon dragon, was in front of him. He couldn't help but believe this fact. All of this was brought to me by the Black Dragon's consciousness. Even this Heaven Awakening demon dragon is so respectful and obedient. What kind of existence is the Black Dragon's consciousness? What happened when I lost consciousness just now? Kang Shinmu had questions in his heart, but he knew that he didn't have the strength and qualifications to answer these questions. He had to continue to cultivate and move forward until he had stronger power. At least, he had to become stronger than this Heaven Awakening demon dragon. In such a large Heaven Awakening demon realm, are there any treasures of heaven and earth that can be used by me to improve my cultivation? Thinking of this, Kang Shinmu asked the Heaven Awakening demon dragon. Of course. When Qi Tian heard this, he laughed. In my heaven awakening demon realm, there are many demonic beasts. The treasures of heaven and earth that demonic beasts and dragon warriors need to improve are different kinds. If you want to find treasures like the source of demonic Qi in the heaven awakening demon realm, it may be more difficult, but to find treasures of heaven and earth that can help dragon warriors improve, it is really too easy. My lord, please wait a moment. Near this subordinate's lair, there is a stalk of soul blood ginseng that has grown for more than 100 years. It is a great supplement for a dragon warrior and can greatly increase the innate talent of a dragon warrior. As his voice fell, Qi Tian once again turned into a blood-red demonic dragon that covered the sky and soared into the distant sky. Kang Xinmu watched the other party leave and was not in a hurry to wait. Anyway, now that he had successfully commanded the heaven awakening demon dragon, there was no need to be anxious. Instead, he was more worried about Shi Yueying, who had just left. While Qi Tian was looking for the soul blood ginseng, Kang Xinmu flew down to the dense forest below and then stepped through the spacetime door. After the white light shrouded him, he opened his eyes and found that he had come to another deep mountain forest. However, looking into the distance, he could see some familiar mountains. That's right, as long as I pass through that mountain range, I will be near Empty Mang's city. Kang Xinmu nodded with satisfaction. The heaven awakening demon dragon really did not deceive him. When Kang Xinmu appeared, a group of figures immediately ran out of the dense forest, and a warm and fragrant figure rushed into his arms. Chapter 4006. This beautiful figure was none other than Shi Yueying, who had just left through the spatial gate. Beside her were the sacred dragon Shi Tao and 2 other elders of the Shi clan. When they saw Jiang Shenwu emerge from the gate of space and time, they were so shocked that their jaws almost fell off. This kid, he actually came back alive from the heaven awakening demon dragon. Shi Tao and the others were all stunned. They had not expected the final outcome to be like this. First of all, they had not expected Shi Yueying to escape first. They had thought that Kang Xinmu would definitely die inside, but Kang Xinmu had still managed to escape in the end. However, what they did not know was that Kang Xinmu had not escaped, but had been sent out after he had taken control of the entire heaven awakening demon realm. Of course, Kang Xinmu would not say this out loud. As for Shi Yueying, who had somewhat guessed it, she did not say much. She just hugged him tightly, as if afraid that he would be accidentally taken away. It's all right. I'm back. Everyone, let's go back first. Kang Xinmu patted the young girl's shoulder to comfort her. Now Kang Xinmu's thoughts were starting to become clear. Without a doubt, his greatest trump cards were the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon and the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm. If any opponent wanted to force him to his death, he could at most retreat to the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm. Even the Yen Dragon Emperor's court could not do anything to him, let alone the Dragon Prison. Moreover, he could now rely on the resources of the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm to rapidly improve himself. The Heaven Awakening Demon Realm was full of demon beasts, and many of the cultivation resources that dragon warriors needed were of no use to demon beasts. Now that Kang Xinmu had taken control of the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm, he could naturally use these resources to make himself stronger. After so long, the sky is almost bright. Shi Tao knew that Kang Xinmu was definitely hiding some secrets, but he did not think too much about it. He would not deliberately pry into other people's secrets. In any case, he only needed to know that Kang Xinmu had no ill intentions towards them. Under this premise, the stronger Kang Xinmu was, the more talented he was, the more potential he had, and the more valuable he would be to Shi Tao and the others. Shall we go back together? Shi Tao asked Kang Xinmu tentatively. There's no need. Everyone, please go back first. Kang Xinmu shook his head. After all, he still had things to do in the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm. Qi Tian had just gone to find and collect resources for him to improve his cultivation level as a dragon martial artist. He wanted to seize this opportunity to improve himself first. All right. Daughter, let's return to Emtimang City first. Shi Tao nodded solemnly and said to Shi Yueying. Shi Yueying was a little reluctant, but she could tell from the relationship between the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon and Kang Shinmu that the relationship between Kang Shinmu and the dragon was a little unusual. Now that Kang Shinmu should have stayed behind to deal with something, she didn't think too much about it. In any case, since Kang Shinmu could come out of the Heaven Awakening Demon realm once, he could come out a second time. There wouldn't be any danger. She followed her father, Shi Tao, and 2 elders of the Shi clan residents. They turned and rushed in the direction of Emtimang City to clean up the chaos caused by the Scarlet Demon Wolf Horde. As for Kang Shinmu, he watched their backs disappear from his sight, then turned and stepped back into the space-time gate, returning to the blood-red Heaven Awakening Demon realm in the sky. At this time, the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon returned. My lord, time is limited. I have found these 3 secret medicines. The Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon transformed into a human form and landed in front of Kang Shinmu. He waved his hand and temporarily removed the space-time gate. After all, he felt that Kang Shinmu would definitely take these 3 secret medicines. He couldn't let outsiders come in through the space-time gate to disturb him, so he might as well remove it first. All right. Kang Shinmu nodded and glanced at the 3 secret medicines that the other party handed over. Among these 3 secret herbs, one of them was the Chitian spirit grass that he had taken before. This thing was considered a rare medicinal herb in the entire dragon prison domain that could only be found by luck. It contained rich spiritual qi and was a great tonic for dragon martial artists. The other 2 were the dragon soul fruit and the heavenly blood branch. These 2 things were even more precious and rare than the Chitian spirit grass. If they appeared in the dragon prison domain, many of the Holy Dragon Residence's Holy Dragon experts would definitely come out to fight for them. These 3 secret medicines were found by Qi Tian as a greeting gift to Kang Shinmu. There were many other cultivation resources in the entire Heaven Awakening Demon realm, but he couldn't find so many in a short time. He needed to collect and organize them before he could bring more. All right. I will take these 3 secret medicines first. In the future, I will make a trip to the Heaven Awakening Demon realm every month. Prepare the cultivation herbs for me. Kang Shinmu nodded in satisfaction. He was already very surprised to find these 3 secret medicines in such a short time. Qi Tian was quite efficient. My lord, feel free to take these 3 secret medicines. Qi Tian bowed respectfully and then retreated. With a raise of his hand, a blood-colored barrier enveloped the area where Kang Shinmu was, protecting him in this area. There were many traces of the existence of monsters in the surrounding dense forest, but on the one hand, the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon was here, and on the other hand, there was the blood-colored barrier. This made Kang Shinmu in an absolutely safe state. Kang Shinmu knew that now was the time for him to take the secret medicine. He picked out the dragon soul fruit first and then condensed waves of pitch-black devouring power in his palm. The appearance of this devouring power allowed him to completely absorb the spiritual energy contained in the dragon soul fruit into his body without any harm, turning it into power to improve his cultivation. Seeing the pitch-black devouring power appear in his hand, Qi Tian, who was in human form outside the blood-colored barrier, had a look of reverence in his eyes. Although he didn't know what kind of existence was hidden in Kang Shinmu's body, he was very clear that this existence was definitely not something he could come into contact with at his current level. Dragon King? Dragon Emperor? In front of the existence in Kang Shinmu's body, he was simply like an ant. As a dragon martial artist, since Qi Tian could come to the Heaven Awakening Demon realm to become a commander, he naturally had his own ambitions. If he had only relied on himself to reach the level of the Heaven Awakening Demon realm's leader, he had basically reached a bottleneck. If he wanted to go to the next level, it would be extremely difficult. But now, an excellent opportunity had appeared in front of him. That was the existence in Kang Shinmu's body. I'll serve this existence first. In the future, when he rises, it will be the time for me to rise. Qi Tian's eyes were full of ambition. At this time, the devouring power in Kang Shinmu's body surged out and continuously devoured the spiritual energy contained in the dragon soul fruit. Soon, he could feel the talent power in his body surging, and the feeling of his cultivation level about to rise soon arrived. Originally, Kang Shinmu was in the 4th level of the divine martial realm, and he had just advanced not long ago. Chapter 4007. Kang Shinmu did not expect to have such an opportunity, but all of this was brought to him by the black dragon consciousness in his body. He knew very well that this was not a resource that truly belonged to him. But no matter what, as long as it could make him stronger, he had no reason not to accept it. After taking the dragon soul fruit, Kang Shinmu continued to devour the blood heaven nourishing branch and Qitian spirit grass. Although the heaven and earth spiritual energy contained in these two was not as good as the dragon soul fruit, it was not much worse. For dragon martial artists, they were also rare resources. Even for a genius like Ji Yeshuan, it was rare for her to encounter such materials. The most important thing was that these 3 precious materials were completely ordinary things in the Heaven Awakening Demon realm. Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon found 3 of them at once. If he waited for a month, he would definitely be able to find more. In this way, I will definitely be able to improve by 1 realm every month, and I will not be far from the Nirvana Tribulation realm. Kang Shinmu thought in his heart, looking forward to the future of cultivation. As he devoured the heaven and earth spiritual energy in the blood heaven nourishing branch and Qitian spirit grass, his whole body's aura suddenly changed, and he finally broke through to the 5th level of the divine martial realm. To be able to improve in such a short time was something that other dragon martial artists did not even dare to think about. Even Kang Shinmu did not have such an idea before, but now it seemed that his speed of improvement was much faster than he had imagined. Qi Tian, well done. I will leave first and come back in a month. After Kang Shinmu devoured the 3 rare materials, he opened his eyes and said to Qi Tian. Qi Tian bowed respectfully, yes. Seeing his respectful attitude, Kang Shinmu knew that the black dragon consciousness in his body was extraordinary, and his curiosity about it grew. And this also increased his desire to find his father, but he was very clear that it was not that easy to find his father's traces. He took a deep look at Qi Tian, then took the 3 blood-red dragon scales on his body and asked Qi Tian to open a spacetime door again, and then left the Heaven Awakening Demon realm. Only 1 night had passed since the Scarlet Demon Wolves attacked Mtimang's city. When Kang Shinmu came out of the Heaven Opening Demon realm, the sun had just risen and shone on the earth, illuminating the bloody scene outside Laoshan city. The Scarlet Demon Wolf's rampage last night had dyed the entire Mtimang city in a blood-red color. In the distance, a few powerful dragon martial artists finally rushed over from the direction of Dragon Prison City. They should be other experts who received the news and came to investigate the vicinity of Laoshan city. Fortunately, I came out a little earlier. Otherwise, I would have been discovered by them. Kang Shinmu thought to himself, feeling a little lucky. Although he was not afraid of others finding out about the Heaven Awakening Demon realm, if they found out about his relationship with the Heaven Awakening Demon realm, the situation would be a little troublesome. It didn't matter to him, but it was likely to implicate others, such as the sacred dragon Shi Tao and Shi Yueying from the Shi clan, or Jiang Yuning from the Jiang clan. He quickly ran toward Mtimang city. However, he was not as fast as the powerful dragon martial artists in the sky when he ran through the mountain forest. Those powerful dragon martial artists were sacred dragon experts like Shi Tao, and they were not at the same level as Xia Yan. It seemed that their cultivation levels were higher than sacred dragons and Xia Yan's. Could it be the existences beside Dragon King? Jiang Shenwu had previously heard that the enslaved Dragon King had a few divine dragon experts by his side. They were known as enslaved dragon envoys. There were a total of 5 dragon envoys, and they had complete control over the entire dragon prison domain. And now, there were 3 of them in the sky. Clearly, the incident with the scarlet demon wolf had alarmed Dragon King, causing him to send out 3 dragon envoys. 3 dragon envoys, and it seems that 2 of them are women. Kang Shinmu looked at the sky and observed for a moment, but soon shook his head. What happened to the 3 of them had nothing to do with him. He had to return to Emtimang City first and meet up with Sacred Dragon Shi Tao and the others. Otherwise, it might arouse suspicion. Shi Tao would not say anything, but if the dragon envoys became suspicious, it would not be a good thing. When Kang Shinmu returned to the city gate of Emtimang City, he found that the gate was still closed, but there were more guards on the city wall. When she saw Kang Shinmu, a young girl on the city wall immediately ordered the gate to be opened. This young girl was Shi Yueying. She must have taken the initiative to come here and wait for Kang Shinmu. After the gate opened, Shi Yueying came to greet him. Kang Shinmu, are you okay? Shi Yueying had been worried all night, and now that she saw Kang Shinmu return safely, she was finally relieved. Not only am I fine, but I also profited from this disaster. Kang Shinmu smiled and hugged the young girl. The young girl sensed for a moment and found that Kang Shinmu's aura was stronger than before. Clearly, he had made a breakthrough in his cultivation realm, which surprised her. But on second thought, she had only just stepped into the divine martial arts realm, and the gap between her and Kang Shinmu seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. This made her a little sad and uncomfortable, but as long as Kang Shinmu was fine, she could rest assured for the time being. Let's go, father is waiting for you. Originally, Shi Yueying had a cold expression on her face to everyone. But now, only when she was facing Jiang Shenwu could one see her smiling face. The 2 of them walked towards the Lord's mansion of Emtimang City. The 3 dragon envoys in the sky had already landed in the Lord's mansion before them, obviously to investigate the situation. That's the whole story. In the end, we destroyed the space-time gate and returned. When Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying arrived, the holy dragon Shi Tao was explaining the situation to the dragon envoys. He had also said everything about the Heaven Awakening Demon Realm, but he naturally concealed the matter between Kang Shinmu and the Heaven Awakening Demon Dragon. Those who knew about this were all important figures in the Shi clan mansion, and they were also Shi Yueying's relatives. Naturally, they wouldn't betray them now, as it wouldn't do them any good. Understood. This time, it's all thanks to Lord Shi's help. When we report the situation to Lord Dragon King will definitely reward Lord Shi. Then, she glanced at Jiang Shenwu and Shi Yueying, who had just walked into the hall, and was a little surprised. That's right, a beautiful woman in silver armor said to Shi Tao with a serious expression. This is the little brother you mentioned, Kang Shinmu? It said that he defeated all the heroes in the clan martial competition and won the championship. The beautiful woman glanced curiously at Kang Shinmu. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.